Thursday morning, kicking off a brand new show on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, as well as a brand new NFL season. May we be the first to welcome you to the 2024 season of the National Football League. American rules professional football is played tonight, boys and girls. That's Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson. Robert Walsh is our producer. I'm Will Bowling. The number is 615-737-1045. We stream the show live, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. That's 1045 The Zone TV. On a busy morning with injury updates from Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park, Coach Mack at 7:20, Amin of Fox at 8:20, and the Thursday 3. What's going on? Good morning.
Hey.
Good morning. A little bit different feeling in the air today with football happening.
Yeah, we there.
Ooh.
We're absolutely there, man. I'm excited about it. A big matchup tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, we're hitting the ground running tonight, man. Football, we survived the summer. We've already mentioned all those things, man. We got real, actual football, and also Friday night football on top of that, too. And I'm not even talking about
It's not Friday yet, but
I know. Yeah, we're there. I'm already. I'm crossing the line. We got an extra 5 yards on our run.
Tonight. Let's get through Thursday, then we'll get to Friday.
False start. Hey, guy in the middle, 5 yards. You guys also have up downs after practice. Like, that's how excited I am, man. Yes.
Oh, man. After watching Stretch yesterday for 14 minutes, I decided I'm going to be part of those Stretch workouts because that's where I'm going to fit in my workout in the day. 14-minute period right there, baby.
14. Hey, got to get them loose so we won't have those soft tissue injuries. So hey, it is what it is. I am hit the gym this morning. Finally, I gotta find some consistency. I have to.
It's impressive.
Gotta get into a routine.
Gotta catch a routine.
I've been better about my routine the second the show ends.
Oh my! Have you
Yeah.
just blockers on and go straight to the gym? See, that's what you have to do.
I hit some PRs the other day.
You
Nice.
did. Okay. See?
I'm not going to say what they are because I don't lift very much because I'm not a very strong person, 6'5". But it's good for me.
I'm sure.
You battle against yourself.
That's
It's like Dan Lanning. Who's Oregon playing next week? Oregon. That's what he told his team after the Idaho game.
No,
Good. They need.
They talked about that.
They need to regroup a
He should
little.
at least take Coach Tomlin thing and say nameless gray faces. Like, at least acknowledge that there are people on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Like, nothing.
So is this show nameless, gray face, Kayla and Will?
Yeah.
Oh.
Pretty much. Yeah, at this point, Will.
Gray
I'll be
face.
nameless gray face. It's just like the stock photo that you have on, like, anything.
Oh, yeah.
It's a nameless gray face.
Like the little Twitter or X.
Yeah.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's Twitter.
Exactly.
Twitter.
So it's just exactly those types of things right there. With that being said, though, we have to ask him, y'all. We have to. Bert.
How we feeling? We're back, baby.
Where we at? Where we at, man?
I sent a voice message to John Harbaugh.
All right.
This is always good when
Sweet.
you send a voice message.
I sent a voice message to tell him what I expect from the team, and I'll play it for you guys right now.
We will be perfect in every aspect of the game. You drop a pass, you run a mile. You miss a blocking assignment, you run a mile. You fumble the football, and I will break my foot off in your John Brown hind parts.
And then you will run a mile.
Yes. Very nice.
That's great.
Very nice.
I feel like Bernie Mac today because I ain't scared of y'all.
No, you ain't, man.
I ain't scared of y'all no more. I've been having a
Love
reoccurring nightmare ever since January, thinking about Zay Flowers fumbling that ball on the goal line.
Yeah.
Well, the guy that made him do that ain't there no more. I've been thinking about Travis Kelce catching that goal line fade over Kyle Hamilton. You know what? He's had an all off season of boo loving, schmoozing, press conferences. You done got soft. Yeah. You know who didn't get soft?
Who?
You know who got cold and ratchet?
Tell 'em.
Lamar bleeping Jackson.
You day.
I'm
Get 'em.
over it. I'm over it.
Get
I'm
'em.
done being scared. I'm done sitting in the shadow. Today is the day. And I may be depressed tomorrow. They may kick our ass tonight, but they're going to have to.
Yeah. You ain't laying down is what you saying.
That's it.
Last sleep you had was last night.
And I couldn't.
And you couldn't.
I could not.
You could not.
I could not.
And tell us why, Bert.
Because of this game.
And you ain't scared of who?
Ain't nobody.
Nobody.
Especially not no Chiefs.
And you have to buy Cheyenne a what?
Whoa, hey, easy.
Hold on now.
Hey,
Easy.
hey,
Whoa,
hey,
whoa,
Be cool.
Hey, we were
cool.
having a good time.
That was a little encroachment there.
That's right.
Tell Stop getting over the line of scrimmage. You was not back over the line of scrimmage, Kayla. Come on,
I jumped
man.
to the freaking end zone, baby.
Well, and you know what happens? You're going to end up like the Wolfman
You
in
got to get
Kansas
off the
City.
first yard line before you get in the end zone.
I do have to say, Ramon, to detract from the game a little bit and my weird optimism, which is probably not warranted. I related to you so much yesterday. I have never related to someone who has athletic children before until I watched my cat catch a mouse in the backyard yesterday. He's caught lizards. He's caught baby rabbits. He's caught everything in the world besides what he is supposed to catch. And when I looked out there and saw a mouse in my little Stony boy's mouth. Winston. I call him Winston, Winstony, Stony Baloney. You know,
Sure.
sometimes you mix it around. When I tell y'all, he would play with this thing and then he would sling it. He would, one little
Like a
talon,
helicopter?
one little claw. He would sling that thing in the air and run over there. And all you could hear in the backyard was, that mouse was going through it. I have never been prouder. I wanted to take him out for a snow cone. I'm like, what do cats get for treats? What do you want? You want some salmon? We're going to the store and get some salmon.
What do you say? Cheyenne was trying to run in. He was like, no. Let him cook.
Cheyenne was like, what if it's going to get him sick? I was like, this is what he's born to
This
do.
is what literally they're made for. This is the purpose of cats being on Earth.
This is his
Is this
job.
exact situation.
Let that boy be your man.
Hey, and let that boy watch. And I'm thinking maybe he's been doing this because I ain't never seen a mouse anywhere since I had a cat. So maybe he's been doing this, and this is the first time I've seen him. You know, he's practicing integrity, do it like ain't nobody watching. Well, I was watching yesterday, and I'm going to go buy that cat the biggest piece of fish I can find at the store today. I am very happy for my cat.
Just get him catnip. It gets him drunk.
Oh, he's a fiend,
Hell, I'm
man.
gonna be real. A lot of your rebuttals to a good time is like fight, get drunk,
Absolutely.
or get stabbed.
And you guys say you're the boys on the show.
I mean, to be fair, Slay was saying the exact same thing the other day about be drunk, be belligerent, and have a good time.
Who is Slay?
Ron.
The national
The 6'8",
guy.
the 6'8"
Slay
podcaster.
The podcaster.
On from the 3 to 6.
I wish they would dog my boy like that again,
That was
man.
crazy.
They call my dog
That
a
was crazy.
podcast. He in a studio
A podcast?
with cameras. Yeah.
People get
Did you see
confused
the
on that
tweet?
stuff.
Did you see it? Oh my!
It was the NC State Wolfpack fan account,
Sure.
which I didn't know they were a big enough fan base to have those. And they said, Tennessee podcaster encourages fans to be drunk, belligerent. Like, yeah, you're right.
This is all you
Y'all
get.
have figured it out. You're messing with the right one for that.
This is all you get right here.
That's
Pause.
right.
At some point in time, pause will be brought to you, just like Bert's cat Winston last night, man.
That
I can't-
name.
man, I swear, hey, it's time to grow up out here, okay?
no,
Never.
it's not.
No,
It
it's
is-
not.
it is
It's not at
time.
all. Yeah, I didn't even know NC State was that passionate about ball either. Man.
They're not.
Okay.
Clearly,
That's
they're
fake.
not because they
That's
would
just
have
me.
known that
That's just
Ron
me.
Slay, standing at 6'8" from Pearl Cone High School by way of Oak Hill Academy, is a former SEC Player of the Year for the
SEC
University
legend.
of Tennessee Volunteers.
Who
If they
does a
knew ball,
podcast?
if they knew ball,
Similar to you guys overlooking everybody else in football, the ACC doesn't give a damn about the SEC
They don't.
in
They
basketball.
don't.
Unfortunately, they
That's
don't.
real. That's
well,
real.
what Ramon
though.
would have
That's
sang
real.
in the locker room after the win that's coming for Tennessee this weekend is we don't give a damn about the whole state of North Carolina, whole state of North
Except for Bert, I chirped that.
whole
at the
state of
end.
North Carolina.
Except Bert. Yeah, we
I
do
was
that right
censored
there.
for a moment.
Yes.
The whole state of NC State, I
Oh, my
imagine, is what they
gosh.
will say.
Oh my gosh, Charlotte is what we use it for.
No, but they're not in Charlotte.
They're not in Charlotte.
No, they're in
They
Raleigh.
don't even. They're
They're
Raleigh.
playing in Charlotte, though,
all
right?
for sure.
Correct?
Yeah, all good.
Yeah, yeah.
Either way.
I hope so. Otherwise, I'm going to be sitting in an empty stadium on Saturday night.
Maybe they have a jumbotron on.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, you can always watch on your phone too.
That's the energy we got for you this morning. NFL football is back. The Titans defense spoke yesterday about preparing for Caleb Williams. We've got audio of that coming up for you on the other side. Coach Mack at 7:20. Adam Amin, who will be on the TV side of Titans Bears for Fox. He will stop by at 8:20. And the Thursday 3 makes you money in hour number 4. 615-737-1045. You're here for the Titans defense coming up next.
One of the things I love about Genesis Diamonds is they're always bringing in new and fresh jewelry and diamonds. You're never going to see the same old choices at Genesis. With their diamonds, they're always bringing the fresh cut stones straight from the world's best diamond cutters. Every size you can imagine, including the larger, rare diamonds, 3 and 5 and even 10 carats for you big ballers out there, all right? Nobody has a diamond selection that can come anywhere close to what Genesis has. And with their designer jewelry, Genesis has partnered with all the top designers from New York and Los Angeles, and they are on the cutting edge when it comes to what's in style, what's hot, what's new and different. The stuff you see in Genesis, you will not find at other stores, guaranteed. So it's a constantly moving, constantly changing inventory, always new selections. And it's another reason why Genesis dominates the jewelry scene here and why people drive for 2 hours and more to be able to shop at this amazing store. They've got it all. Huge selection, uncompromising quality, unbeatable value, ironclad warranties, and white glove customer service. Genesis Diamonds and luxury pre-owned Rolexes too. They're located in Green Hills and Cool Springs. Well, if you're not like us this morning, okay, and you often feeling tired or lacking motivation and drive, gaining weight, or noticing a loss of muscle mass, guess what? These could all be signs of low testosterone. Don't wait. Find out, because at Low T Center, they make it easy to get your levels checked, and it's just a simple test, too. And with their on-site lab, you get results back in about 25 minutes. Low T Center is also not a typical doctor's office. Their physicians specialize in treating low testosterone with customized therapy, or as they call it, TRT, for each patient. The experts at Low T Center have over a decade of experience helping patients achieve life-changing results, and most health insurance is accepted for the treatment. For established patients with stable T levels, they also offer a convenient physician-monitored self-inject treatment plan that ships directly to your home each month without the need to come in for the weekly visits. And at Low T Center, you can also get your health evaluated for treatment with prescription GLP-1 weight loss medications. So, get back to your best. Go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment today. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Thursday morning on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. RKW is live in studio on 104.5 The Zone, 615-737-1045. We invite your celebrations of NFL football returning. Going to hear from the Titans defenders, Jeffrey Simmons, Chidobe Awuzie, back at the practice field yesterday. The full injury report. Gosh, doesn't it feel good to just read an injury report again for the first time?
Do the real. Do the
Did
right
not
thing.
practice Jamal Adams. Limited DeAndre Hopkins and Otis Reese. That is good news for Chidobe Awuzie, who is a full participant then, not even on the injury report, as well for L'Jarius Sneed and Josh Wiley. Mm-hmm. That would mean has cleared concussion protocol. So good news all around.
Yeah,
Really
it
good
was.
news.
A very small injury report, man. I was listening to 3HL a little bit yesterday after practice, and they were just like, remember when, even in week one, the Titans had an injury report list as long as a mile, and you were trying to figure out what kind of product you were going to put on the field? Like, not to say they can't get to that point again, but Kayla, like, most folks are accounted and present, and even D-Hop being limited to a veteran at his age means he going to play.
Absolutely. And we saw it with D-Hop last year, even the way that they managed him. He would practice about 2 times a week from what we could see, and then he'd have his veteran rest days. He has his own kind of stretch routine and some of the things that he does when he does not practice.
Does he do that real quick? Have we seen him stretch with the whole team too?
Yeah, so
he has been stretching with the team, because you're right. Last year he did.
Do you remember that?
His own thing.
He would go, and a big part of it was he's really into yoga, hot yoga, those types of things. I take notice because I do those types of workouts, and I would just notice him like planking over on the side.
That was a small flex right there too, by the way. I just want you to know, if that was a small flex
Just
right
small
there.
flex right there,
do yoga,
hot
and you
yoga
pretty much
and 100
shaming us.
degrees.
But cook on though. I ain't gonna interrupt you.
I will. Yes, I will fry right now. But yes, he usually would do like some of his own things. I have seen with this new stretch routine. If you just are joining us, I mentioned at the beginning of the show, it is a whopping 14 minutes of stretch. And when I tell you it is intense, folks, it is intense. You've got a couple of the guys out there, demonstrating it, and then the team does it together. But it's all sorts of different type of what it looks to be a lot of track workouts.
Dynamic stuff.
Will,
trying to get the muscles to pop real
stuff,
quick.
Yeah.
Stretching.
Exactly. But it was good to see D-Hop out there because he hasn't been at training camp. And so just for the fact that he was even, limited in practice was a really good thing. And just the fact that there's only really 2 guys on that injury report now that we're a little bit even unsure about is such a good sign to start the season. And it just goes to show, too, I think they did the right thing with certain bodies and preserving them during training camp to get to this point.
Gotcha.
So this was Brian Callahan asked yesterday a couple of questions about DeAndre Hopkins and the protocol for when a veteran player needs to be available in the week to feel good about throwing them into the game.
Same guy, he looks like Hop. He's been great. He's been really communicative about, how he feels and where his body's at and making sure he's getting to work to be ready to play. So everything he's done has been exactly what we're looking for in terms of communication and process. So that's been positive. It's case by case, I think, is how it usually works. I mean, obviously you'd love to have him practice at least once before the game. I generally think that's a safe bet to feel like they're ready to play, but there's definitely been weeks where a guy's been dealing with something that lingers, but by the 48 hours from Friday to Sunday, they got a shot to be ready to roll. So generally speaking, give guys as much opportunity to play as possible. I'll never rule anybody out if they haven't practiced, unless it's like a clear they're not going to play. But for the most part, if they think they can make it and we can try to make it go, pregame workout or whatever, if they haven't practiced and they've played enough, usually I feel pretty good about it. Different than if it's a younger player who maybe hasn't had the experience, and then I'd be a little bit more leery of a guy not practicing.
I think if DeAndre Hopkins is already limited by yesterday, he's playing Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's that simple too. Yeah, and Coach Callahan actually gave the appropriate answer. He gave you answers that I would have given y'all if you'd asked me, well, Mo, how do you start on Friday? Well, start the game on the weekend. One, practice by Friday and be out there on Saturday if you're young. But as he said, if you got a guy that's played a lot like D-Hop has, I trust him to let me know that he's good. To whereas young guys, let's Let's even go with Dylan Radins. Dylan Radins might be like, Coach, I'm good. And that's because Dylan's trying to prove that he's trying to keep his spot, et cetera. So if Dylan Radins is a guy that hadn't practiced by Friday, then it's probably going to be doubtful on the Saturday injury report list. It's just certain guys that are like that. But D-Hop is one of those vets, man, that he doesn't need much.
No.
If he's rehabbed and the knee is good and coaches understand how they're going to use him over the course of the week, there is no issue. And plus, he and Will Levis already have a relationship together. I think the new guys is super important for the receivers to get out there and have their availability to know the timing. Like, I still think this is one of those ongoing processes over the course of this year where Will Levis is figuring out who he likes and don't like on certain routes.
Yeah, because we know for sure that Will Levis and Tyler Boyd have built that, more so for the fact that we've heard things about Tyler Boyd in the past, just about his leadership, but he already knew the offense. So they got on the same page pretty early in training camp. And I asked Will Levis straight up about D-Hop yesterday. Did you need any of that? Is it going to affect the chemistry at all with you guys not being? Yeah. He goes, he didn't even blink an eye. He was like, we're just so pumped to have him back. He goes, I honestly built so much of that chemistry with him last year from the get-go that I don't even think it's going to be a worry.
Yeah. Okay, that's good to hear. Very good to hear.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about it once he gets out there. I'm concerned, though, about what this offense would look like without him at all against a lockdown corner in Jalen Johnson. This feels like a game where DeAndre Hopkins is vital to the Titans having success.
Well, here's the thing, too. And I know it's false reporting. Essentially, it's the preseason. Can we believe the idea that what we saw in New Orleans is real, meaning they spread the ball out big time? The screen game was huge, and I think
the screen game will be better under this administration than what Vrabel was. That was a weakness of the Vrabel coach Titans, even when this team was good. They could never get a screen to pop. But that being said, I'm not taking anything away from preseason games in that way. I think the distribution of the ball, you kind of hit the reset button a little bit.
You kind of hit the reset button because I'm looking at it, and as far as D-Hop goes, I think at this point D-Hop is such a luxury piece. Like he's a main character. He's a main character, but he's a luxury piece. But if you look at the other guys that are surrounding him, like we were trying to decide who's going to be the top 5. They end up keeping 6 on the roster as far as the playmakers go, right? And again, I trust in these guys enough from what I think we've seen over the years. So we're going to throw in, yes, we have to throw NWI in there. You throw NWI in there, Tyler Boyd, Traylon Burks.
He's healthy.
I mean, if hitting your potential is one of the hardest things to do. If you can get the full potential out of all of those guys, and starting with Traylon, like, D-Hop is such the cherry on top, man. It's my main point as far as the other weapons that you have on this team, too.
Yeah, he's just proven he can do it even when he's double teamed. Like last year, he had no really help around him. There were not a lot of other weapons at that point for Will Levis, and he just continued to make plays where we're like, oh, D-Hop still has it. Now he's got help.
Yeah, I just think in this matchup specifically against a lockdown corner and Jalen Johnson's ability to take down one side of the field with what he does, you need your full array of weapons available to you if you can get them. So I think if there's a 60-40 chance or a 50-50 chance, like I think they've really got to push DeAndre Hopkins to play in this game for me.
I honestly don't think that.
I think he's going to play.
Yeah,
anyway. I don't think it's going to matter.
Yeah.
So it's really it's an irrelevant point.
Because I look at this one, and who's the big corner from Seattle? Golly, I should look this up.
Which one?
Which one? Withers?
No, not Witherspoon.
Witherspoon?
No, not the Spoon Kid. Okay, Renham Spoon.
Woolen.
Woolen. The struggles that Calvin had in practice, from what we saw, was, I mean, he was a bigger body.
That's what I'm saying.
Jalen Johnson's been one of those guys. To me, what is he, 6 foot? If I'm not mistaken.
You got a computer?
Yeah, you're right. I do have a computer. I'll look it up. In that moment right there, fill the airtime then, okay?
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah,
but you're right. And
I'm kidding.
Yeah. He's 6 foot. What I'm saying is this: Woolen was a 6'2", 6'3" type of guy, right? And with that being said, I think the struggles that that Calvin had getting off the line of scrimmage was more size than anything. And when we look at me saying, like, I trust this group, even if they didn't, if D-Hop needed one more week, then I think this group can hold up their end of the bargain, considering what I saw the offense look like in New Orleans. That's my personal opinion. But I do think D-Hop is going to play. Yes,
I will say really quick, too, on Ridley. We talked to him, and I do sense a little bit of he knows, like, what's expected of him this year, and he should. He's getting paid that, right?
Yeah.
And he's very, very honest with things that he's not happy with. He was talking about yak yards yesterday and how he expects himself to be one of those players that can get that, and he hasn't lived up to that potential right now. So he was speaking about that, too, and just timing that he's not exactly happy with right now. So that guy is continuing to work, but I think it's going to take a few games for that really to be an instant connection where it's flawless. I just think that's still a work in progress, but I think eventually he'll get there because he knows what the issues are. It's just getting to that point.
Yeah, for sure.
Jeffrey Simmons talked yesterday about going after Caleb Williams and this defense, or this offense, I should say. He's not going to play against the defense unless he's maybe in a goal line package of the Chicago Bears. Speaking about just the process of containing him and going after this offense, this was Jeff yesterday.
Being able to actually go out there and this for real now, it's like I've been barely sleeping this week, and just being able to come to practice this week, tune everything up and get ready for a win.
Can you kind of feel that in the locker room this week at practice? Energy just a little bit different?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, it's a new culture. When you have it's just like a new car. You wake up and be so excited to drive that car, and it's like now I'm excited to go to war with these new coaches, and especially guys like Denard, who every meeting he just fire you up every time he get up there to talk and talking about the defense and what he expects. So, I'm excited, and you can feel it in the building. You can feel it out here on the practice field.
It's not the first time you've been an underdog in a game, Jeff. What are the advantages to kind of having that mentality going into a game like this one?
I mean, since I've been here, we always been an underdog. No one expects us to do anything. But I think the mindset that we have in this locker room, we have enough. Everybody in our locker room believe it. We could compete with anybody in this league, no matter who on their roster. No matter who at quarterback, no matter the receiver they didn't got, it's our job to go out there and perform. And I'm very confident in our guys. I'm confident in the defensive side and the offensive side to make sure that we come out this game with a win.
Jeff, I've got a good stat for you. The last 15 first-round picks, number one overall, 0-15-1 in terms of quarterback rookie starts. What does it mean to go up against a guy like Caleb Williams? How important is it to kind of set the tone for this defense with an opportunity like him and a rookie?
Call it what it is. He is a rookie coming in for his first real NFL game. Y'all don't look too much with the stats and all that. Our job is to make sure we contain him. We know that what type of quarterback he is, and we know the type of offense that they run. So they're going to try to put him on the move. He like to extend plays, as we saw in preseason. So when we rushing, we got to make sure we collapse the pocket, let him get duck up lanes. We saw that in the preseason game. And at the end of the day, he the head of the snake. Once you stop him, it's like you control the game. But I think we just go back to a rookie quarterback. They going to make plays, and they're going to have a game plan.
There you go. There's Jeffrey Simmons talking yesterday. I think it's interesting talking about the collapsing the pocket element. They are treating this like they're playing Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
That's their strategy when they play Patrick Mahomes. Collapse the pocket, don't let him extend plays, and plaster on the back end as he does extend plays, because that's the danger of playing Caleb Williams.
It'll come down to discipline this weekend. It really will, to your point. Like, if he gets outside the huddle, and not just the guys up front. Like, I talked about the rush lanes yesterday that Arden and Harold have to be in, and Jalen Harold at this point, too, and a rookie. Like, don't chase the bait. Don't be Bert's cat in the backyard and just chase anything that's running around. Like, stay in your lanes. And on the back end, too, this is where you'll see, hopefully, the spending and free agency pay off, to where you pay this type of money for these type of guys, and they're veterans, too. Your assignments become number one. That's what keeps you in the league a very long time, is your assignments and not getting lost on the back end and having your eyes in the backfield. So if they can flush him, man, and stay disciplined, it should be a good game. They have a real strong chance of winning, strictly based off of that right there.
And I like how they're approaching it, too, because you heard Jeff in there. I know a lot of us, we're not trying to get them to take the bait at all in terms of Caleb Williams being a rookie, but the stat that I mentioned, the last 15 QBs drafted number one overall have a combined record of 0-14-1 in their first career stats is kind of crazy. Yeah, I mean, that's a wild stat. And I
Since
just wanted,
02,
I wanted to just give that just to reference it, but he didn't give too much of, bulletin board material when it came to Caleb Williams. And really when I spoke with a lot of the cornerbacks, Chidobe Awuzie, some of the defensive guys, they pretty much are saying we're treating him like any other quarterback, not a rookie, even though he hasn't been on that stage. They gave credit to how talented he is because they all know what he can do, but they're like, we're not giving any of this bulletin board material to the Bears because we're taking this just like if it was, like a Patty Mahomes.
Y'all got any guesses on who that one quarterback was?
What do you mean?
The rookie quarterback.
Who had a tie?
The tie?
Huh? No, the last rookie to win a week one start.
Number one overall pick? That's the stat is the quarterback's taken number one overall. Are 0-14-1 in their first career starts since 2002.
Well, the article I'm reading right now, the rookie quarterbacks have gone 16-35-1 in openers. And the last one to win a week one start was Sam Darnold for the New York Jets, Kayla.
That's my guy. There we go.
And then it all went downhill.
Sam Darnold, baby.
I did that for you, Kayla.
Thank you.
Now he's off that loser organization. He can win some ball games.
feel
That's what
bad
trying to
for
push
him.
Bert to the jewelry store right there. That was for him, okay? Sam Darnold. Nah, I'm messing with you.
And all this started with Carson Palmer. Back in 02.
The last successful
Cold-blooded buff
USC
humble.
quarterback.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I just think, honestly, Chidobe Awuzie's exact words were, we're treating him like he's been in the league for 20 years.
Yep.
I don't know if the Titans are going to change any of what they do just because this guy is a rookie.
Right.
Or maybe they are, and they just want us to think otherwise.
Yeah. I mean, they have to, though. This is a big game. This is a reset for this entire franchise.
Yeah.
And
It's big for both teams.
Yeah, it is. And your first opportunity is this weekend to try to prove a lot of the naysayers wrong, you know?
Let a naysayer know.
Let a naysayer know.
Coming up, speaking of letting naysayers know, Diego Pavia is the quarterback of the Vanderbilt Commodores. He said some strong things on Saturday. After Vandy beat Virginia Tech, he won up to those things last night on SEC Network. We'll tell you what he said next.
It's Ramon Foster for Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Letting you know, man, you've heard me talk about how good Hiller is and how it feels like being part of a family. Well, this month, guess what? Hiller is treating you like family too with their Friends and Family Savings event, where Happy Hiller Club members save up to 25% off their first HVAC, plumbing, or electrical repair. And that's that time of the year. Right now, it's kind of dry, so you just never know what's going on or outside of your house. Get that 25% off with the Happy Hiller Club members. And for everybody else that's not a member too, they got something for you. They'll get you 10% discount off the work that you get done to your home, whether it be HVAC, plumbing, or electrical too. Present your coupon and save. For more details and to download the coupon, go to happyhiller.com.
Well, as football season begins in Nashville, we have a quarterback in this city who has his own mayonnaise-themed fragrance, and he might be the second most interesting quarterback in Nashville. It's Ramon, Kayla, and Will, RKW 104.5 The Zone. After Vanderbilt's win over Virginia Tech in overtime on Saturday, Diego Pavia, who was compared to a quote-unquote poor man's Trace McSorley the other day, did not take too kindly to that. He took it a step further yesterday on Out of Pocket with Alyssa Lang and Randall Cobb on SEC Network and said, I feel like I'm more of a Johnny Football. That's who I am. Comparing himself to Johnny Manziel. 12 of 16 for 190 while adding 104 rushing yards and a touchdown on the ground. Listen, if I'm a Vanderbilt fan, I absolutely love this. I absolutely love it. This is the kind of edge. This is the swagger. This is the kind of spit in your face and laugh at you when we beat you mentality that they have not had enough of over on West End, and they have got it. I'm all for it.
It goes
Talk your talk, buddy.
It absolutely goes
not even
a long
being
way.
sarcastic.
No. It goes so far because, again, confidence it does matter. Knowing that you can hold your own, even if you know I'm going to lose this game, but I'm going to talk my trash, it still resonates to your teammates. Like 50-plus transfers, whatever they had this year.
Yeah,
like
51 new players.
That's a lot of new players, and somebody's got to be the leader. I don't know who it was last year. Heck, I think they tried to make Swan the leader.
Swan?
AJ Swan the leader, but in that sense, he didn't have this type of personality. If you're going to be Vanderbilt and do things your way, you got to go find you this type of dog that's going to drag everybody to the finish line if you have to. I'm with you. I like it. It's great for Vandy. Y'all need a little bit more edginess without the arrest and stuff, okay? That's all I'm saying is be edgy. Talk your stuff and go recruit. Like, we joked all the time about what Tennessee had to do, right? You had to go pay $8 million quarterback. Well, guess what? Look at it. Mm-hmm. You better go do something in order to make yourself relevant. I know folks hate using Dion in this, but Dion is making that doggone university money over there, okay? Lane, Kiffin, the Sarkisian, we can name them. They're all doing it, finding you a stud of a quarterback that's going to go and make you plays like this and drag everybody else with them.
I am cool with it right now. I think it's a great way to put Vanderbilt back on the map. I was watching a fun SEC short. You can see those sometimes on Twitter. They're really funny comedy sketches, and they incorporated Vandy probably for the first time in how many years. And it was even funny just to see, okay, Vandy's incorporated in this skit in terms of scoring tons of points in week one. And good for them in having a guy like Pavia who is coming in and has a little swag, right? I think that's really something that they need, like you said. And look, for the next 2 weeks, Alcorn State, Georgia State, you need to make sure to...
Georgia State ain't no pushover.
And that's what I'm saying. You need to make sure, though,
don't slip up.
To be building on that first performance against a Virginia Tech team who was just right outside of the top 25 in the preseason polls. Don't just rest on that and say, hey, we beat Virginia Tech and we're getting attention now, and then sleep.
At the wheel. Yeah.
You don't want to do that, because then after those two games, you hop into SEC play at Missouri, which is going to be no cupcake. The only thing I'll say about that is if Pavia is going to say this, which I am, again, great with. If you want to put those money signs up or anchor signs, whatever, go ahead and do it. But you better be ready then for the big boy defenses that are going to come attack you when you play the Alabamas, right? When you play even Auburns and Texases. Yeah. So that's got to be the mentality still then when you're going into those games, and you are putting yourself as a target now, which is fine. Let's play the game. But I want to see that throughout the season. I don't want to just see it the first few weeks of the season for Pavia. I want to see this throughout.
I wonder how much money's been made because of that game. Like, legitimately. Sure. NIL for him. Like, if they're smart, they lock this kid in. Like, everything he's done in week one. Mm-hmm. It sounds like they've won the Super Bowl, essentially. And nobody expected him to win. I saw a picture. The student section was busting out of the seams. That was good. I say this like we're just patting them on their back for doing something good.
Well, we are.
But it's okay.
We got to.
It's been rocky,
that.
right?
Been rocky
that's not we're not over exaggerating on that. That's not an attack on Vanderbilt at all. That's just what it's been.
They finally got a dude over there. I mean, of course, went through 3 quarterbacks to get this one.
and reshuffled their coaching staff.
Listen, the people that don't like us are always going to be mad at us for quote unquote patting them on the back. But this is legitimate conversation, honestly.
Yeah, it is. And this is what they've been asking for, man. Again, you got your guy and there's confidence behind him. And we've all been saying this too for the longest. If you want to be mad at how other folks talk about you and out of the conference too. Or if you're just a baseball school, well, this is what you have to look like. Like you might have to be a little cocky. Yeah. And you got the guy that's not backing down for it. Johnny Football was that was a movement. Mm-hmm. That was an absolutely movement, man. Absolute movement. So I don't know if he's going to get that high, but they got a few AP votes. Kayla, did you throw them in there?
They had 8 votes. They were, I think, 34th or 9th most. I mean, it happens.
I got attacked for not putting them in there. And I'm used to it. I got attacked by my own fan base last year because I didn't put the Cougs in. I needed to wait a little bit. And the Cougs knocked off a number, 25 ranked team to start the season. No, I said, look, it's more about just winning one game. I mean, other teams got to lose. I have a formula, all right?
Okay.
So don't come attacking me because I don't put your team into the top 25 after one win. I've got to see some things.
Confirmed Kayla hates your team.
No, I love Vanderbilt.
Vandy hater, Kayla has.
No, not at all. I mean, I covered their baseball team. I do.
We know.
I do like them, but I'm just saying. In all seriousness, though, every AP voter has like their own model. Yeah. But I did think it was funny that I got attacked a little bit. I'm here for it.
You have been championing.
A lot of weirdos on Twitter.
Here for it.
A lot of weirdos on Twitter.
For you.
615-737-1045. Back to Titans discussion coming up next. The latest on DeAndre Hopkins. Got that for you as hour 2 begins. Hey, it's Will Bowling here for my friends at Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. Established in 1926, it is the largest and most comprehensive orthopedic practice in Tennessee. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, the leading experts in sports medicine and performance. They are the team physicians for NFL, college, and high school athletes across Tennessee. And if you are in Middle Tennessee, you've started the high school football season, high school sports season, you got bumps and bruises, you got nagging injuries already starting. Well, these are the people you need to go and see. With 29 locations throughout Tennessee, Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance has over 100 orthopedic physicians throughout Middle in East Tennessee. They offer sports performance training, a specialized program designed to enhance athletic performance and provide tailored training solutions for athletes at all levels. Check them out online, TOA.org. That's TOA.com, TOA.com. 11 orthopedic urgent care locations with walk-in availability 7 days a week. That's TOA.com.
What's going on? 7 o'clock. Good morning from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I am Robert Walsh. Titans and Bears so close you can smell the injury report. Bears have quite a few contributors who were limited. Keenan Allen, Montez Sweat, Zach Pickens, and Roschon Johnston most notably. On the Titans side, Otis Reese and DeAndre Hopkins were limited while Jamal Adams did not practice. The kickoff game is here tonight. Ravens, Chiefs, Lamar versus Mahomes. Kickoff is at 7:20. You can see the game on NBC. Chiefs will be without free agent acquisition and former Raven wide receiver Hollywood Brown. For the Ravens, third-round outside linebacker Adisa Isaac has been ruled out. For all your foundation repair and your waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Into hour number 2, 7 a.m. in Nashville on day one of the NFL football season. This is Ramon, Kayla, and Will. Stream it live on 104.5 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. That is where you join the discussion in the F&M Bank chat. If you are there watching us on YouTube, you should celebrate the beginning of the football season. Go to the bottom, right below where you see our beautiful warm, awake faces this morning. Hit the subscribe button. Many of you think you are subscribed. We know that you are not subscribed because every time we say this, you'll say, I really thought I was already subscribed, but I watch every day. My comments are in the F&M Bank chat every day. I haven't been subscribed to the channel. Helps us out if you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. So we invite you to do that to celebrate the beginning of NFL football today. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Will Bowling, Robert Walsh is our producer. We are taking wellness checks on Bert throughout the morning as his Baltimore Ravens take on the Kansas City Chiefs tonight. Are you guys aware that the NFL put out a hype video the other day on social media, and Taylor Swift was in it 5 times?
Yeah, I'm not mad.
Which is like triple. That's not a multiple of 3. I don't care. Triple of some superstar Pro Bowlers who are nowhere to be found.
Wow. How you feel about that, Kayla?
We counted it.
You did?
In the media room. I was telling you we have some downtime now up there.
Yeah.
Samaria brought it up on her phone. She says, can you believe, Samaria, News 2, does a great job over there. Can you believe she's in it 5 times? I said, let me see it. So I counted it, and I'm cool with 2, but that was a little much. And I like Taylor. Yeah. But I'm like, come on now.
Say what you want. The NFL cares about growth, and Taylor Swift brought a crowd.
Should we set an over-under of how many times she's on camera tonight?
Please.
I'm okay with that.
Let's pick a number.
I'm okay with that. This is the main kickoff.
Winner gets 0.01 points at the Thursday 3.
You want to set the line? You setting the line?
No, I would just say just pick a number.
Pick a number. I got 7 times.
I'll go with 6.
Oh, I was going to go way higher than this.
Really?
Bert, do you have a pick on this?
I was working and wasn't even listening. So I'll go with 8.
You sound like every girl I've ever dated until the one I'm dating now. Love you, Peyton. It was the amount of times that Taylor Swift will be shown on the broadcast tonight. 8 is a good guess.
Okay.
He's still not listening.
13
is my
13, double digits, huh?
Week one, absolutely.
I'm freaking trapped in between Kayla and Bert here. Like,
you're 7?
Seriously. Yeah, I'm 7. Like, y'all can pick another number?
Yeah, it's really tough.
No, 6 got to be it.
So I strategically
don't want to go
last.
too much, but, anything else would be way too low.
I don't see how people feel on Price is Right.
Brandon on YouTube says, let's put a bet on whether or not she is the Super Bowl halftime show. A Super Bowl halftime show in Louisiana needs a lot more culture than Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
Yeah, 100%.
If it ain't Dwayne Carter, we send it back.
Dwayne Michael Carter, absolutely.
Please be.
And if we don't get a showing from Juvenile, I mean, what are we talking about? Coming from the 99 into 2000, like, what are we talking about here?
What's your bet?
By the way, that stadium, they've beautified the heck out of it.
Yeah, it's a lot different
now.
Outside, it's still Mercedes-Benz.
Oh, it is still, okay.
It looks like a trash bin on the outside, But the inside,
It's nice?
you're in a totally different world in there.
Okay, 'cause the
It is
last time I
very
was there, it
nice
was
on
not.
it. No, they've put like a canopy up top,
Okay.
like how we have here, that kind of hide like the
Sure.
catwalks and stuff. They made that place look really good.
Nice.
So,
That's
I
good
mean,
to
that's
hear.
one of the perks of an indoor, too, is you can technically renovate. I think they spent over like $550 million on those renovations for this Super Bowl. So, I mean, preparation for a lot of
Sure.
things, too. But that
it's
played
a lot
part
different.
in it.
You can get wild down there.
Well, they can't have the power go out again for this Super Bowl like it did one of the last times. So
Keep
they
mentioning
kind of
that.
had to make a big update.
There was a team that won the Super Bowl off of that, too. But that's neither here nor there.
Unfortunately, when it comes to halftime performers, you can bet on the odds right now. Lil Wayne is the favorite, but after him, it would not be a good decision for any of these after them. Following him, Justin Bieber's plus 500, tied with Taylor Swift.
Well, he'd be good.
Nicki,
Justin Bieber's great.
I'm sure he's great, but we just complained about Taylor Swift in Louisiana, and you want Justin Bieber?
But Biebs
But
is
add Biebs.
Justin Bieber embraced the culture a little
Yeah,
bit.
add Biebs to
No,
Wayne.
he does not. He's from Canada.
That's okay.
There are a million
Send him
different
back.
Let him
things.
play the Grey Cup first, then we can talk.
Nicki Minaj at 600,
Okay.
Dua Lipa at plus 750,
Ooh.
Miley Cyrus at plus 900, and Drake at plus 1,000.
Yeah, I heard Miley was going to be it. I don't want to see her as the main act. No
I'm
offense.
good.
I like Miley
I'm good on
Cyrus, but
Miley.
I'm not looking for her to be the main act.
I'm going to say something that is going to show I'm out of touch with a lot of things, but how many songs does Dua Lipa have?
A lot. More than you think.
I've heard them, you think, probably?
Yeah, probably.
With the halftime show,
I love
too,
her.
it is more about being a worldly phenomenon
That's right.
than it is being like
Exactly.
a local thing. Like
That's
you
right.
saw it in Atlanta where they didn't really do right by Atlanta, like music-wise. So like Dua Lipa would make a lot of sense to me just because she's worldly. Or Bad Bunny. Like Bad Bunny's the
The number
biggest
one artist in the world.
Right. So
That
if
might
they were
be
going to
it.
go big, Bad Bunny would make a lot of sense to me, who is not currently posted on the odds. So I would imagine you could probably get him at a
He
pretty
could
good
win
chunk
some
of
money.
change.
If them doing Brazil this year, too, like the international, you're right, Bert, that makes a whole lot of sense.
Fair
Bad
enough.
Bunny. Well, if they're going global, I don't know if Nicki's going to be, and you can take her off.
See, I think Miley Cyrus would be the pick if and when Nashville gets a Super Bowl.
Makes
Yeah.
If
sense.
Miley's still around at that point.
I mean,
who's to
give me
say?
Dolly Parton, baby, all day.
I don't know if
every
she'll
day.
be around at that point. Still
Hey,
performing. Still
hey,
performing.
Dolly
You didn't
will
let me
live
finish.
forever.
Still performing. I didn't say she was going to die.
She
Dolly
did it
will
last
live
I just don't know if she'll
forever.
still be performing.
If you want Dolly, the best way to do that would be to get Miley Cyrus. Because
Yeah,
if,
no,
you're right.
if you got Miley,
point.
then
Sure.
Miley is...
The God.
She has a right of covering other people's songs. So she would do similar to what Dolly did in her rock album, just
That's
like
right.
cover
Right.
everyone else's great songs. And by the way, could you sing them with me?
Yeah. And Dolly is in that NFL hype video, too.
I love that. Can we just
Our queen.
nominate her? I might write her in.
I'm going to nominate her for president.
I
know.
Me too.
improper
I am too.
737-1045.
She's
Dolly
heavier
and-
up top than she is.
I was going to say,
All
just
right.
nominate them as
Talk
VP.
about Dolly like that.
And there ain't nothing wrong with that. It's good being an improper fraction.
Also,
I like that.
fresh off the rack from yesterday, the Titans practice report in week 1. Jamal Adams did not practice. DeAndre Hopkins was limited. Otis Reese was limited. I would say more than likely, I think DeAndre Hopkins is playing on Sunday. Ask me Friday, based on what he does on Friday. But Brian Callahan spoke about it yesterday. If you are a veteran that is in the mix around Friday, then I feel like guys like Hopkins are in good shape to play.
Friday's usually the day. That's the day you actually get full speed work without all the stress on you, too. Training room usually feels good about guys at that point. And, of course, you want to make Friday perfect Fridays. So the practice shorter, but you're working on more situational things the way we used to do. So you get red zone, you get backed up, you get a third down work, and you get a little bit of competition. You usually have a team versus team, like Titans defense versus Titan offense type of stuff, and a lot of special teams. So it's not usually a strenuous day. That's why guys usually incorporate music. You know, it's the Friday song
More
and all
laid back.
those types of By Friday, you want to be feeling good, man. There is no better feeling than like today, where you get the weigh-in done, and then today is usually like red zone and some special teams, and then tomorrow.
The weigh-in?
awesome.
What-
Yeah, you weigh in weekly.
I'll say something then. DeAndre Hopkins weighed in yesterday.
So they weigh in on Wednesdays.
Well, let's just say I saw something.
What
weigh-in.
is that supposed to mean?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Does that mean he's gonna play?
Oh no, it's man. I mean, most teams make it mandatory to weigh in. Yeah.
That's what limp up onto the scale.
I just didn't know if that was any hint to anything.
No, everybody weighs in. Usually one day a week. Most teams do it Thursdays or Friday is usually what you do.
Okay.
What was he wearing? Did they get on naked?
Can't go into that.
Okay.
I'm a professional.
Just the undies. Dang, man.
Okay.
I am a pro.
Back in wrestling practice, they'd be like, all right, weigh in. I'd drop them.
Yeah.
I'll take off that little 0.3, man.
That's why the locker room is sacred, Bert.
It
That's
is
what I'm
sacred.
saying.
It absolutely is.
So,
Yeah.
right.
Okay, let's just
Dude, I've been doing this for 25 years.
Hey, look, it is. You just the locker room. You see some stuff.
By the way, the guys were like,
it is a sacred place.
They couldn't wait to get us out of the locker room yesterday because their practice went a little bit
Sounds
over.
about right.
So the time went a little over, but they didn't really realize that. And it was so funny. Skronsky came in and he said, "You guys are still in here?" And we were like, "Yeah, Skronsky, what? Come on now. Give us some credit."
Big Sco.
Sounds like Big Sco.
They're like, "Get
Sounds
out
like
of
Big
here."
Sco.
He talking.
That wasn't Peter kicking y'all out. That was Big Sco kicking y'all out.
That was Big Sco energy right there.
Big Sco energy, man. No, players covered the locker room. And again, I'll be honest with you, most players don't want the media in until like after work is done.
Right.
And it ain't personal. With how guys go about it, but it's just like, well, you're not supposed to be in here.
And
this
we
is our
always
space.
went in before, Moan.
Is anybody
This is
playing
the
music
first
still?
year. Oh yeah,
They are.
they're playing games in there, music. The locker room vibe, by the way, y'all, really good.
They shooting dice in the
It
corner.
was Arden Key
didn't see
revealed on
that.
the Titans TikTok over the summer that he is the DJ.
He's a resident DJ.
Arden Key is the music guy.
Yes.
I wanted us Arden actually have we have Country Wednesdays.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you got to have representation.
Look at the culture on Mo.
Oh my
see.
gosh, yes, Country Wednesdays was a thing.
Who were some of the artists you would
Country
listen to?
Wins.
Man, Lil Nas X now.
You're the worst.
You're
This spoken from the guy that doesn't like Post Malone anymore because he made a country
I
album.
do like Post. I
No,
just
you
don't
just
listen
don't
to the
listen to
new
music as
country
much.
stuff. Yeah, you got to be able to point me in the direction of like good country stuff. And I ain't saying his
I
is
got you.
just different.
You come to the right place.
Yeah,
between Bert and I.
You know what? This weekend on the plane, I'm gonna listen to Post Malone.
I'll make you a playlist.
Watch
I'll make
this.
you a mix.
What?
You've
You
not
better not.
listened?
Do you have one already?
I'm like a guy in high school in 2004 who has a crush on a girl. I'll make you a mix.
Yeah, but
Oh,
I'll be
geez,
honest. The
mixtape.
same thing is with Drake Techno album. I didn't listen to it. I gave Beyonce's country
Yeah, Drake
album
lost me
one
too.
spin. And Beyonce had a good country album too. Oh, country music, Beyonce. So there's that too.
There you
So I don't know when
Beyonce.
they do the switch up on me like that, like it throws me off.
So you haven't heard any of his country stuff?
Who Posties? I turned it on for like 4 songs one time. I was just like, I'm trying, and I got to be in the mood.
I love
Okay.
it so much.
Like I got to be in the mood
It's okay.
for it.
I'll just give you my top 10 from that album because there are 27 songs, and that could just be your plain playlist.
Okay, you make me a playlist. I'm gonna listen to it.
There's some good stuff on there that I think you would like.
You have one already? Mm-hmm. Send it.
Okay.
All right, yeah, absolutely. Savage sent me a country one. Oh my, his is real
Leave me in
good.
charge of 90s rap Thursday.
90s
And
Rap
I'll be
Thursdays,
on it.
Hip Hop Fridays. I mean, we got everything.
Yeah.
Throwback Thursdays is where you play some blues or some
that's cool.
early 90s music and stuff.
I like it.
Yeah, no, we versatile.
Coming up, Titans Radio's head coach will join us. Our first game week visit with Coach Mack is next. With 16 Middle Tennessee locations spanning from Clarksville to Murfreesboro, Waterburger makes it just like you like it. What's going on? It's Will Bowling. They've got a great event coming up this week that they were doing. If you weren't out there at Murfreesboro location for Wada Wings, then you got to check this out. These are fantastic. The boneless tender bites with a saucy kick. The Sings for Wings event. This is going on this upcoming weekend, Friday, tomorrow, 5 to 8 p.m. You go to Old Fort Parkway in Murfreesboro. It is a musical night of karaoke. So much fun. Contestants not only get to try the Wada Wings, but someone will get free Waterburger for a year. That's right. If you love Waterburger the way I do, you go to the Murfreesboro location tomorrow night, 5 to 8 p.m., you get to sing for your Waterburger, and you could get free Waterburger for a year. Waterburger also now serving coffee, get iced or hot in the mornings with sweet cream, a variety of available flavor add-ins available 24/7, morning, noon, or night. That's Waterburger with 16 Middle Tennessee locations spanning from Clarksville to Murfreesboro. Waterburger, just like you like it. Oh, it's time for our first game week visit with Titans Radio's head coach in studio on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. Coach Tay McGinnis is presented by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. Two Rivers Ford, full crew in studio. Mack, what's up?
NFL regular season ball, hell, let's go.
Get on.
American Rules Professional Football is played tonight.
Did y'all see Todd Bowles with his press conference?
I missed it, Coach Mack.
What happened?
Google it up. Y'all are Google kings.
Here, I'll pull it for
He's
us,
going to pull it
Coach.
for us. Okay.
Thanks, Bert.
Big broadcast guru.
Thanks, Bert. Yeah, they, of course, if y'all know Todd Bowles, Todd is real understated. And so I know a few people down there. They said, Mac, you got to see this. And so they showed me. I went, wow, okay.
All right, here you go. There's Todd Bowles.
I think if he finds
Coming up in a moment.
it's exciting.
Hey, that was Bowles.
That was Bowles.
That's awesome.
When he started his press conference, he banged both hands on the podium.
Let's go.
And you could hear his press corps, because he's really understated.
Yeah.
He's really a cool dude. And he just looking at him. Bam! I'm excited.
I love that.
And he
awesome.
does fly under the radar. We were at the Senior Bowl. He was just walking down the street by himself, like no people around him, and there's Coach Bowles right there.
Sure.
He's a very understated dude. He is good ball coach, though, man. Good person.
That's right.
There it is.
That's a drop.
That is
That's
great.
going to go in our rotation.
There
I'm
he
sure
is.
the media corps jumped out of their seats.
They started laughing so hard you could hear him.
That's awesome.
And then Bowles tried to recompose himself and become Todd Bowles. Then he broke down laughing again.
No,
Y'all got to watch it.
Thanks for bringing us, though. That's great.
It's pretty good. Well, the person that got a hold of me said, Mac, you'll enjoy this.
Yeah, but because they know you know him. He don't show much of that, right?
Does not.
Yeah.
That's the energy we got. This show's been called a lot of things. Composed is rarely one of them. So
Right.
we're cool with that.
I'm okay with that.
Mac defending Caleb Williams. Chidobe Awuzie said yesterday in the locker room that they are treating him like he is a 20-year pro. How do you go about defending a quarterback with the athleticism and with the off-platform arm strength that Caleb Williams has?
Well, the first thing you got to do is you got to defend the progression offense, and that starts with that, because I do know that Shane Waldron's not going to just turn him loose and tell him to be a wild horse rider. So he's going to have some things that he's going to want him to do. So you're going to have two ways to go after him. And a quarterback like that, the first thing that you think about doing, because he's very talented. I really like the guy's talent, but he can't have seen everything he's going to see yet. It's just, you can't manufacture that experience. But you have to have two ways to go about it. You got to bogey and disguise coverages in the back end, give him pre and post snap looks that are completely different. But up front, you've got a couple of ways you can go about it. And I just know in my coaching experience what I've been involved with in calling defenses against a guy like this. You've got to be able to do two things. First of all, you'd love to be able to get pressure with 4 and cover with 7. Because if you can do that, if you can cover with 7, cover 5 eligible, you got 4 over 3, 3 over 2. That gives you a big chance. But when he starts moving, if you have a pre-planned fish hook on him, which means you're going to pre-plan and flush him either to the right or the left, and then you got a fish hook and a tracker on him, that's one way to do it. Or you can go after him. Okay, so It's just, I think there's going to be a lot of hunting and pecking as you look for this first ball game, because nobody knows really what anybody's going to do. Mm-hmm. That's the first ball game in the National Football League, and then this is unique because you've got a brand new coaching staff here and a new offensive and a head coach that's going to call the offensive plays. They don't really know, and of course we don't really know what they're going to do, because I looked at their last 5 games last year. And then, just the preseason games where their starters played. And they're not going to show you anything in that. But what you can see, of course, you guys know we all do a lot of draft prep here on Titans Radio. And this guy's got it all. He has got it all. And I'm telling you, I lived the Chicago Bears for 10 years there. I know when they get excited about something, this is the first quarterback they've really just kind of gone over the top with since Jim McMahon. And they are over the top. I told you guys I've done 8 hits on different platforms in Chicago this week with the media. They are all looking for, and Caleb Williams is a focal point, but he's not the only part of this team, and you guys know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
absolutely.
A lot of talent there.
It's interesting, Mac, when you talk about how you defend him and pressure him. pushing the middle of the pocket and Jeffrey Simmons and Devondre Sweat. Just how critical is that for this type of quarterback specifically and just making him uncomfortable?
Well, it's critical. It's critical for timing because if you can crush that center guard triangle, I mean, I got a guy sitting right here. You crush that, all of a sudden timing is completely off. Now at least if he doesn't rabbit or not, whether he rabbits out of the cylinder or not, you've at least changed his launch point from where he wants to set his feet. Now, this guy can launch it without both feet on the ground. I mean, he's got an arm and he's got accuracy. A lot of guys that do that scramble and move when they are on the move, you're not as worried about it because they're not very accurate. This guy's accurate on the move. He's very accurate off platform. But pushing the middle of the pocket is extremely important. But as I said, if you're going to do that, then you still have to be able to, because there's edges. There's 53 and a third that you're going to have to cover one edge or the other on this guy too. It's a challenge. It's a challenge, and plus, I mean, they've added weapons for this guy to be successful.
They have, Coach Mack, and also weapons were added to the Tennessee Titans this offseason too, man. But one of those guys is going to have to see Montez Sweat, who was the sack leader for the Washington Commanders and the Chicago Bears. Coach Mack, when you look at that, how do you prepare a young guy like J.C. Latham for this upcoming weekend on the road, going against a veteran guy like Montez Sweat?
Well, he's got it. First of all, he's got the best guy in the world to prepare him. But sooner or later, I mean, Bill Callahan's going to be on the sideline. Mm-hmm. He's not going to step across the line. So it's going to J.C. Latham is going to have to, sooner, and he's going to get tested. He's going to get tested early in this ball game, and he's going to get tested all year. But now this is what he's worked for. This is what he's trained for. And Montez Sweat, I watched the last 5 games of their regular season last year. When he showed up, that defense took another step, because they really weren't getting any pressure on the quarterback. But you add one dude that's a legitimate dude off of the edge, then all of a sudden, and you know this, and our listeners know this, all of a sudden the offensive line has to start doing different things, incorporating different people. But Montez Sweat was a big catalyst for their success, and they played really good defense down the stretch last year. But Montez Sweat was a huge part of that.
He absolutely was. And they got linebackers, Coach Mack. Tremaine Edmonds is one of those guys. T.J. Ward was a free agent acquisition of theirs, too, if I'm not mistaken. This is a good versus good matchup this weekend with all the changes that the Titans have made. And Ryan Poles, honestly, we spoke a little bit about it yesterday, Coach Mack. He and Rand and Chad and A-Rob, man, have done very similar things if you look at both franchises.
I agree, Ramon. I mean, they're about a couple of talent acquisition periods ahead of where the Bears are right now. I mean, of where the Titans are right now. The Bears are a couple because they just got there earlier, but their formula looks like it's about the same as far as to what they did. They've made some really nice additions, and we talk about Edmonds. We talk about we've talked about the first 2 levels. That third level of defense they've got maybe their biggest strength, because those dudes can play. They've got cover dudes. They've got dudes in the back end. They go to nickel. They got an excellent nickel player that's a great blitzer in Gordon. They've got a defense. And look, I know Eberflus just hired Eric Washington in there, and Eberflus has always been a defensive guy. It's going to be interesting to me to see how those two things, because you can't tell from the preseason, but how those two things are going to mesh. In there with what they're doing. But this defensively, they've added some people too. I mean, and I think they've done a really nice job. If you just want to look at it objectively, you go back and start checking their draft picks and check how many starters they have out of the first 3 years that Poles has done it. They've done a nice job there.
Yeah, and I just want to bring that up about T.J. Edwards, too. When that Philly defense was really cooking, he was one of those linebackers on that squad, Coach Mack. If I'm not mistaken, that was 100-plus guy every year. Like, I was correct, about 130 tackles a season from. Very productive guy across the middle, side to side for this Bears defense.
Edmonds, right?
Yes. No. T.J. Edwards.
Edmonds and Edwards.
They got both. I mean, they're both very productive.
I've always been a big, let's talk about Edmonds first. I've always been a big fan of his. He got such length.
An NFL legacy kid too. His dad played, yes,
absolutely. But that guy makes it really hard when you're going against a zone defense underneath, because he's got that condor wingspan And I mean, he covers a lot of ground. Edwards is a good player. But what they've done defensively is they've started to piece guys together. You know, when Eberflus was at Indy, I mean, he was a 4-down guy, rush with 4, cover with a 7. Now they're starting to do, you know, a few different things. But and you know as well as I do, they're going to test the protection issues, you know, and they're going to test the protection strength of the Titans, you know, pretty soon too, because this such a similar matchup with these two teams, 2 young quarterbacks with some pieces put around them, and it's interesting. I think this is a very evenly matched game when you really just step back from a 30,000-point view and take all the bias out of it and look at it. It's a really evenly matched game.
Yeah, it is crazy when you look at that. We were talking in the locker room to Calvin Ridley about that too. I mean, they have wide receivers, which I'll get to in a minute with you, Coach, but, you know, so do the Titans. But the Titans also have to go against, you mentioned it, a really good back end of that defense led by Jermaine Johnson, who I think we've all kind of seen a little bit of sample size of what he can do. What's the challenge for this group of wide receivers for the Titans with that back end?
Well, it depends on what they're presented coverage-wise to me, because all of these guys, the 3 main guys that we're talking about, I mean, they know how to find open spots and zones. We know that. What it comes down to now is how much man or press man are they going to see, and then you've got to win those individuals and see how they're going to match up. I'm very, very interested to see how they're going to match up. If they're going to just play right and left because both those corners can cover, or if they're going to travel somebody. I mean, that's going to be interesting to watch. But if they go into the man-to-man mode, Kayla, they got to win their man-to-man. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is going to be sooner or later. It's going to come down to a man-to-man matchup in this game on both sides. Yep. On both sides. And so you're talking about what our receivers have to do. They're going to have to beat whoever their matchup is.
Excited to see Chidobe Awuzie yesterday out there. We talked to him in the locker room. Great guy, by the way. But he'll be out there with L'Jarius Sneed, so that's going to be a different look for the Titans in that cornerback room. And the first challenge is a challenge because, Mack, you're right. They surrounded Caleb Williams with some really great tools. Obviously, DJ Moore there. You got Rome Odunze. You got Keenan
Allen.
Keenan Allen, yeah. And then Cole Kmet. Don't forget about the tight ends that they can utilize.
Well, Cole Kmet, they got Gerald Everett.
Yeah.
You know, the tight end. They've done a nice job of putting some people together. But that's why Rand Carthon and Brian Callahan went out and started this free agency by going and get a center, go get a couple of corners, you know, you'll get a couple of safeties, be able to put Roger McCrary, you know, kind of where his home spot is. I mean, it's all a Jenga puzzle that both of these teams are playing right now. But the matchups that we're all talking about here are going to be interesting to watch on both sides.
Yeah.
Coach Mack with us, presented by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer, Two Rivers Ford. Mack, you were the head coach of the Bears for how many hours? And
6 hours, didn't know it for 3.
Didn't know it for 3. I wanted to make sure I got the numbers
6
right.
hours on my pension.
That's right.
That was big money. And so
that's what I thought it was. I'm trying to make sure I had the right numbers.
That prorated. I've asked George McCaskey several times if we can do that. He said no.
Dang.
You know this city and this organization very well, and you spoke about it off the top about how they've not been this excited about a quarterback since Jim McMahon. This is how do I put this? This is a blue blood NFL city, a blue blood NFL fan base. There is a lot of history within that organization. There is also now a level of expectation and hype around this team that has maybe not been around the Chicago Bears in quite some time. Just how unique of an environment are the Titans walking into Sunday, considering the knowledge you have of the way this franchise operates and the way the city is kind of on fire for this team right now?
Well, I mean, it's like Green Bay, or it's like Pittsburgh. It's a legacy team, and they've got legacy fans. They've got generational fans that you pass tickets down. They know ball. Believe me, they know ball. All the years that I was up there, we were good, but there's still huge expectations. But when you win, I mean, they can't do enough for you. But at the same time, their expectations, because, I mean, 100 years, however long this league has been going, Papa Bear started it. So however long this league has been in existence, Bears fans have been there during the generation. So it's exactly what you want. It's exactly what you want. I mean, when you're in this league and as a coach or a player, and you do a lot of it because of the challenge of the competition, and that's what you want. I mean, when you go into an environment like this, I mean, if you didn't want this, then
you need to be doing something else.
Yeah, there's a lot of other things in life you can do that don't carry all of the adrenaline push that this does. Which is it's going to be, and plus, I mean, I'm looking forward to being down on the field before the game. Doing the hit that we do with Channel 4 because it's alumni. Mm-hmm. I want to see all those guys. I will see all those guys. And then, of course, the emotional presentation with Steve McMichael's family. Yeah. I mean, there's going to be some emotion there before anybody ever touches a blade of grass with their cleats. Mm-hmm. I promise you.
It's the kind of game where you would say, if this doesn't light your fire, your wood's wet. Mm-hmm. That's what they say in a lot of.
Coach Mack's face.
No, I'm looking at Will and Will. That sounds like somebody would talk about sitting around the cattle pen in West Texas. I like that.
Come on,
I like that.
I'm trying to match your energy, Coach. I can't do it the way I can't do it at your level.
You did something that few people can do. I stopped for a minute.
We've been a little bit.
I'm going to wear that as a badge of honor.
Crazy on the show today.
I'm going to wear that as a badge of honor.
Come on,
in a
with
good
it,
way.
Coach Mack.
I like that.
Yeah, that was good. Right?
It was good.
That's all you get. That's all you get, Coach Mack. Go hit the sled.
Okay, yeah, go.
That's all I need. Coach Mack, we are excited to listen to Titans radio coverage again here on the Zone starting 9 a.m. Sunday for Titans and Bears. I know you have just got nobody to see, nobody to talk to, no hands to shake or anything up in Chicago this weekend. So
I mean, it's really kind of like going back to Pittsburgh with Ramon.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, he's been to Chicago
He'll
with
deny
me.
it, but it's 100% right.
I've been to Pittsburgh with him, and so it's a yin and a yang there because I mean it's. But when you're at some place for a long time, I mean,
we both went missing for a little while to catch up with folks we knew in the old city, Coach Mack.
You got to do it.
But you know what? But both of us always include our group with it.
That's right.
We do.
I like to introduce people to everybody.
Yeah, we do. We did that too. Sure
you did it too, Ramon. You didn't just disappear.
I love it. Coach Mack, presented by Two Rivers Ford. Mack, thank you.
Thanks,
guys.
Coach.
Let's go. Regular season ball.
I love it.
Here we go.
Do it.
Let's build some more hype when we come back. Urban Meyer has contributed his voice to the Nico Iamaleava hype. We'll hear that next.
It's Ramon Foster for United Structural Systems. Letting you know, United Structural Systems, man, they're a foundation repair and waterproofing company that has served Middle Tennessee since 1994. Not just Middle Tennessee, the area surrounding it too, all right? They have more than 25,000 satisfied residential customers. So right now, I need y'all to listen to me. When it's hot and it's dry outside, it's more dry than anything right now. Do you notice soil cracking and pulling away from your walls, from your home, or leaving holes or gaps next to the foundation? Are your bricks cracking, walls bowing, doors or windows sticking? These could all be signs of possible foundation issues. Your house may be trying to tell you something. And also, waterproofing can also include drainage and seal. It's oftentimes both. Up to 50% of the air you breathe on the first floor of your home is the air that came from your crawl space. So control that moisture and create a healthier home for your family by encapsulating the crawl space, all right? Mineral repairs are guaranteed for the lifetime of your home. Told you, United Structural Systems been here since 1994. They aren't going anywhere. So when you need to use that warranty, they will be there. We guarantee our best. Call USS at 615-488-7855 and online at USSTN.com.
Ramon, Kayla, and Will, RKW on 104.5 The Zone, wrapping up the first half of the show.
Hey. That's why I was telling Bert to play earlier.
This is like one of my favorite songs.
Come on, Teddy. Bert, you know what you're doing.
Coming up, we'll have Titans Wednesday practice updates for you. And Brian Callahan talking about analytics yesterday. It was really interesting. Talking about EPA in the year of our Lord, 2024. How about that? A Titans head coach talking about EPA.
Talking about gas?
No.
Well, we're talking about the EPA.
We'll tell you coming up in 10 minutes. You'll have to stay tuned.
Oh, I can leave?
No, you cannot.
You said stay tuned like I can go somewhere.
Get you glued to that seat.
Get my 2 hours.
I mean, you can do what you want to.
I mean,
your name's first on the show. We're just here to
hear from the bosses.
We're here to just talk about your experience.
We'll call it Robert.
Nobody told me I had to stay, and those are new rules that I didn't know we had. So
you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. Might start exercising that. We'll see.
Urban Meyer has given his voice to the Nico Iamaleava hype. Did you guys hear this yesterday?
Yes, I did. I read it.
My
eyes. All right, let's hear it. This is the former head coach of the Florida Gators saying a nice thing about a Tennessee quarterback.
However, I went back and watched Tennessee, and they have a quarterback that I called Matt Leinart and Brady Quinn this morning after watching this thing. His name's Nico Iamaleava.
Call him Nico.
That's the old Polynesian background I have.
The old Polynesian and you coming out.
I'm telling you this now, Mark, and I watched the whole, and it's Tennessee Chattanooga, so they were overmatched, the opponent they play. I mean, they were so much better. But this guy, as far as a body type, to stand there athletically and throw the ball came out like a missile. He was a 5-star product coming out of high school. I asked this question, is he a top 10 pick in the NFL draft to Brady and Matt? They obviously got another year left. This guy is unbelievable, Mark. I can't believe, I know they had Joe Milton, I believe, last year, but this guy is a monster.
Nico.
Because of him, I'm putting them to cover the spread, and I think they'll be a playoff team because of this guy. That's how, on one, coach. I know it's Chattanooga. This guy's go check him out, Mark.
Yeah.
Urban Meyer, Cover 3 podcast.
Yeah. You don't have to like Urban Meyer to agree with that.
I hate when my enemies do good stuff.
Right, I know, and I'm not gonna lie. I looked at that and I was like, really? I was like, this is gonna be interesting because I know it's gonna be on the show. I'll be seeing how they react to it, but it's true, right? And now we're getting to see it. And Alyssa Lang on Out of the Pocket last night, I was watching. She also was talking to Randall Cobb about that and mentioning that, in person too, just seeing Nico Iamaleava. And I think people are getting exposed to him just after one game. And she said, I know it was Chattanooga. She said the same thing. But it's just the way he moves. It's the way that he has the confidence. It's the smoothness. You name it, he has it. And it's hard to say that that's just going to go away when they face an SEC opponent. Like, that guy was kind of born to be that.
Yeah. I just put in a Hef in the Bank chat. Like, I hate when my enemies do cool stuff. It makes it hard to cheer for him. And I know at the core of what he is, he's a football coach. He's an evaluator. I mean, you can't deny he's
a jerk. But from all accounts, maybe not the nicest individual off the field, but that's okay.
I know. I mean, as long as you're not a kicker and kicking around him,
that's right. Yeah,
Didn't that kicker? Never mind. I'll go off on another.
There thing. It is. But what I'm saying, at Utah, he did well. At Florida, he goes and does well. At Ohio State, he goes and does well. I mean, as it pertains to college and identifying talent, the dude got it. I just need all the old coaches that I hated that played against me and beat them, and they beat us. Be more Spurrier-like, okay? Don't ever let your hate go, okay? Spurrier still trashes the Vols, and I'm okay with that. Hearing him speak
we need that,
right?
Yeah.
But kudos to him for being unbiased and giving an evaluation of Nico.
Well, to be fair to Urban, Tennessee wasn't good enough for them to really even be a rival when he was there because he owned Tennessee.
Yeah, he did.
At least Spurrier had a give and take.
So a
little bit with the Vols.
That's true, too. I played with guys that said, man, during the week, man, we throw y'all teas in the urinals. And I was just like, see, that's way too much information.
That's so funny.
I think the Urban Meyer
that's deep.
Part of what he says, though, is legit. And when we say it, we're homers. When he says it, it's analysis. But legitimately, there are things that Nico is doing that, regardless of the opponent on Saturday, in person did not look normal. There are not many humans on earth who can throw a football the way that Nico Iamaleava can throw a football. Mm-hmm. And I still think that Nico's Heisman candidacy this year has more to do with the guys around him than it does him. In a Josh Heupel offense, a 5-star quarterback with his talent is going to always be a Heisman contender. Is the defense and the rest of the team good enough for him to be there in New York? I think they are. And I think Nico is 4th or 5th in that Heisman race as I see it right now. I am drinking all the Kool-Aid, man. I tell you what, maybe it was just being there in person. I don't know what it was, but the guy just doesn't miss like 300 level throws. Mm-hmm. He makes the 300 level stuff look easy. And the guy's a freshman. Like, he's still a redshirt freshman that should still be mastering the 100 level of this offense.
Best play he had in that game?
Hit me.
Do you have one in mind yourself before I go that route? My guess
would either be the first play where he rolled out to his right and found the receiver along the sideline.
Okay.
Or it would be the throw over the middle to Chaz Nimrod, layering it over 2 linebackers and with the safety coming in from behind on a throw you technically shouldn't make, but he threw it high enough over the linebackers where he could drop it in a bucket. Yeah. Or are you thinking of a different play?
First play.
First play. Yeah, I figured
you know why? You come out, he was rolled out and put it on the spot.
And that's what Tennessee didn't have last season.
Because, again, for a guy that hadn't been in that live setting in his own stadium, that wasn't his first career start, it was his first home start of being an opening day starter, it was almost in how it correlated to pitchers. First pitch strike, right? That lets me know my mindset is set. Like, I'm locked in. And that's the mentality that you have to have in those type of moments for a guy that's heralded this much. And like, and here's to your point you made a second ago. It's like, yeah, when we say it, we're homers. But when somebody else like Urban Meyer or anyone else say it, then it's true analysis. And I'm just like, well, it's okay to call it good if it's good. Essentially what Inky told us, he was talking about life experiences, but I don't care who the quarterback is or who the player is. Like, I can appreciate Shador because he can actually throw the friggin' ball.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. It's okay to say if it's good. And what that first play strike on a run, on the sideline, in his pocket, any evaluator is going to say, that's just good.
Yeah, somebody, I forget who made the comparison. He's got some Bryce Young in him. He's like a 6'6" Bryce Young in the way that everything is smooth, no wasted movement,
not rattled
get out of the pocket, but he doesn't have to stop moving in order to still throw a dart outside the numbers.
That's the point right there. If I can spot a kid right now, Will, who's got talent and say he gonna be all right.
And I think he is going to be the one to break the mold of the Heupel system, Art Briles coaching tree system quarterback in the NFL. Because I think he can do things that any NFL evaluator is going to salivate over.
And real quick, too, somebody said it earlier. It's like, well, it's also, what is your return on your investments for these collectives, too? Is this where the bar is set in the saying, well, 100%. I need you to look like him?
Because he was the first big money NIL quarterback. And so far, he has lived up to the hype through a year and a game.
Florida's going with Lagway this weekend, so we'll see. DJ Lagway, the 5-star plus recruit that came into their school. Right. So we'll see what that also looks like.
Maybe they'll ruin him, too.
Kayla, I'm praying on that downfall.
Well, he's gonna look great finishing his career somewhere else after Billy Napier gets fired.
I'm praying on that downfall. I
Wednesday
hope he does well.
Titans updates are next. We'll get you what happened yesterday on the practice field, and Brian Callahan with some interesting comments on EPA. No, it's not gas, Ramon Foster. That's next.
It's Ramon and Kayla here for Window Nation, man. Letting you know that if you buy 2 windows right now, you'll get 2 free plus pay nothing with no interest for 2 full years. And Kayla, I'm sure we all know this because we see and hear folks talk about it, but most of your home's cold AC this summer probably leaked out through your old windows. All right, your old inefficient windows are costing you hundreds of dollars a year in your energy bills. With nicer weather here or on the way, all right? It's a great time to replace those old inefficient windows with energy efficient ones from Window Nation.
That is right. Window Nation, they are truly window experts. Their professional installation teams have over 10 years of experience. So when they come in and check out your windows, they're going to do everything the right way the first time. 50-point inspection on every window before it even leaves the facility. And if you want to hear about their customer satisfaction rating, here it is, 96%. And 96% of the windows installed require no follow-up service. So you don't have to worry. Once they're in, you're going to start saving money. So you can give our friends at Window Nation a call today and get in on their offer. What is that? Well, it's buy 2 windows, get 2 free. Then add to that no down payment and no interest for and no payments for 24 months. So pretty good deal. All you have to do is check them out at windownation.com, or you can simply call them at 866-90Nation.
What's going on? 802, good morning from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I am Robert Walsh. We got our first injury report of the week for Titans and Bears this weekend. Bears have quite a few contributors who were limited. Wide receiver Keenan Allen, edge rusher Montez Sweat, defensive tackle Zach Pickens, and running back Roschon Johnson, most notably. On the Titans side, Otis Reese and DeAndre Hopkins were limited, while Jamal Adams did not practice. And the kickoff game is here. Ravens, Chiefs, Lamar versus Mahomes tonight. Kickoff at 7:20 on NBC. Chiefs will be without free agent acquisition and former Raven wide receiver Hollywood Brown. And for the Ravens, third-round outside linebacker Adisa Isaac has been ruled out. For all your foundation repair and your waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Second half of the show, hour number 3 of RKW is here, live on your radios and your smart devices, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. That is where you see our beautiful faces waking up with you this morning on the 104.5 The Zone app, available for free to you. Does not cost you a dime to listen to us outside the Zone listening area, bigger than most, that Zone listening area. But still, if you get outside of the beautiful mid-state, you go over the plateau at Cookeville, you need us still in your life, then you've got 104.5 The Zone there for free for you wherever you get apps. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Will Bowling, Robert Walsh is our producer, nervously spending another hour before his Baltimore Ravens take on the Kansas City Chiefs tonight. Hour 3 status report, Bird. How are we feeling?
Still not that nervous, man.
Okay,
I will not be nervous until tonight when they start singing that national anthem. They get the first real kickoff of the season, and then I will start to be a little nervous. We could set over-unders on how many cigarettes I will smoke tonight.
Oh, no.
Oh.
What you guys got? 20 coming a pack. I ain't smoking a whole pack.
Okay, I'm going to say 9.
You got some, short shooters, so I'm going to say...
I do have short shooters. They are 72s.
I didn't even know they
that's
had
a lot
number
of
to 'em.
lingo that could go another way.
Shoot, baby. I got 8.
8? Okay.
I got 8.
Same number as Taylor Swift cameos for me, 13.
Oh, sheesh.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't know.
I hope it ain't
It's a
that
big
bad.
game.
How many I got in this pack right
Hey.
now? 1,
Don't
2,
doubt
3,
Bert.
4,
Don't
5,
doubt
6.
Bert.
I got 8 in here right now.
TDB.
Oh, there we go. 8. You got to do the pack.
I hope I don't smoke that many. I hope I don't
Well,
smoke
you're
that
going
many.
to.
I got 8.
Because anytime a game like this on Thursday, when I have to be sad if they lose, I don't have time to take a depression bath. So I would prefer them not to lose in depressing fashion. If they lose by a point or so, I can get with that. But if they get blown out, then I don't know. Y'all might need to have a backup plan for me tomorrow.
You still, I don't know if I've ever met somebody with a losing like regiment. You know what I'm saying? Like a losing tradition. Like, when did the bath start? I don't want to go inside your house and bathroom like this, but did you
I'll set up a live stream for you.
All right.
It was in college.
Live on Zone TV.
In college, I remember East Carolina played UCF, and what was it was a blackout game. It was a night game. We were up so much so that we knelt when time was still available. So UCF got the ball back. Our defensive players don't even have their chin straps locked in, and Brashad Perryman catches a 60-some yard touchdown for UCF to win the game, and I spent probably 4 to 5 hours that night in a bathtub in my apartment.
Oh, my gosh. Were you wrinkled?
Oh, yeah, totally wrinkled. I moved the TV it was sitting on top of the commode. I had everything ran in there. I didn't get out of that bathtub for nothing that night. That was before Uber Eats. My roommate had to bring me food. I was not getting out. I was sad.
Was the water, did you have to continuously turn on the faucet?
Yeah, I refresh. So
Okay, gotcha.
you use your foot to pop that little nozzle at the bottom, let it leak out a little bit, then you refill it with some hot after a while.
That's a pro's way.
It honestly sounds like your sugar mama should buy you a hot tub.
Oh,
All right,
yeah.
I'm clipping that, sending that to Cheyenne right now.
806.
I've been asking for a hot tub for a minute, but I don't think that's going to happen.
And the time that you're going to use it the most is when it gets coolest outside, too.
See, but that'd be bad for my skin. Like, taking a bath for 4 hours is also not great for your skin. But I have, as you guys know, I am neon white. I have a terrible complexion. So if I stayed in a hot tub for 5 hours, my skin would be terrible.
You could do a saltwater hot tub. Saltwater is a lot better.
They do those.
This is why I
Yeah.
bring stuff to y'all. I didn't even know about that. I got to get me a saltwater hot tub.
A little more expensive, but I think she can afford it.
SWHT.
By the way, did you know that everything's not a jacuzzi, too? Don't ask me how I know that.
Oh.
But that's the reason I said hot tub. Like, jacuzzi is an actual brand.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, it is a brand, isn't it? Now that I'm thinking about it. Okay.
I did not know that. I thought it was like a hotel motel distinction.
Yeah.
Like if you had like a certain kind of jet, it was a jacuzzi.
No, and it's something where you can lose naming rights on your business if people continue to call it everything. Like if another brand calls your hot tub a jacuzzi, you can lose your name and like your patent on it too.
Okay. I've always used hot tub. We had a hot tub growing up. I've always used that.
Absolutely.
Not a lot of Titans in the tub. On the injury
that's
report.
a good thing.
Good work.
Cold tub.
Doing my job. Jamal Adams did not practice yesterday. DeAndre Hopkins and Otis Reese both did. That is the full injury report. Hopkins limited, Reese limited as well. Brian Callahan talked yesterday about analytics a little bit. Was asked about the EPA, expected points added, Ramon Foster. You asked for the meaning. What?
Oh my gosh.
That was not what I expected.
What did you think, EPA, man? I should have asked for your opinion first before I said it.
I thought. I was just thinking, this sounds like a government regulation right here. Because
Think it was a medical condition?
I heard the press conference yesterday, people asking about paper thickness and stuff. I'm like, what the hell is this all about? Like, no, absolutely not. So
EPA basically, the 33rd team explains it as if a team started a drive on the 50-yard line, its expected points would be 2.5. So then you have plays that add a certain amount to that total, essentially. It's a fancy way to say value of a play. That's the gist of it. Like, hey, this play was so valuable to you scoring points that we're going to give it this number. Brian Callahan was asked about it yesterday as it pertains to the passing game versus the running game. And I think the headline here is that your head coach knows about analytics. And this organization has a very different stance on analytics than it did this time last year. Here's Brian Callahan yesterday.
The caveat to that is that obviously throwing a ball is always going to net you a higher EPA. That's just how it usually works. But you try to make sure that when you're running the right schemes into the right looks, that you're not necessarily forcing into bad spots. And it's never perfect. Trust me, there's a million plays over the course of a season that you wish you didn't run into that particular look, or you ran the other way, you saw the pressure, whatever it is. But you try your best to avoid negative plays, and you try your best to generate explosive ones. And if you're in that box, you're usually going to be flirting with a positive EPA percentage most of the time. At the end of the day, all that means, though, really is that when we run the ball, we're running it well enough. And you're not taking 0-yard gains or tackles for loss. You're moving forward. And that's sort of the general process is you try to get 4 yards. You don't always. And sometimes you like to get 12 to 20, but that doesn't happen all the time either. So it's a balance. It's not necessarily gospel, but it's something that we very much pay attention to.
So the headline there is that they pay attention to it. Even if you don't understand EPA, and again, I can hear many of you snoring as I try to even explain it for 5 seconds because the sound of my voice talking about numbers is probably very boring. Honestly, the sound of my voice is pretty boring anyway, but I do think it is very interesting, the pivot that this organization has taken to being so much more analytically focused. And you've got a head coach who clearly is thinking about these things as they make a game plan.
Or not just line it up and say, let's go beat people up.
It's not 3 yard in a cloud of dust and running into bad looks just because, we've got Derrick Henry. It doesn't matter if we run into bad looks. I think that's the difference, is that this is still a run-first team. However, they're not just going to bang their heads against a wall because, we've got a good back. He can make 2 guys miss. No. When the defense gives you a passing look, pass it. When they give you a run look, run it.
And again, there's nothing wrong with lining your O-line or D-line up and say, hey, go whip a man.
And the Titans had success doing that with Derrick Henry. It just expired.
it just expired. And what you're getting again is the versatility and just a more complex offense to do real simple things. Because that's the thing about it too. If you overcomplicate offenses and try to be too much of a wizard, then you find yourself in bad situations, right? That's what you don't want. What you want to be able to have balance and actually have a plan. And that's what it sounds like Brian Callahan and Nick Holtz will have going into this game weekend and moving forward too. Again, I know it's preseason, right? And everybody's going to trash on the fact, oh, they didn't have the starters. But when you see the operation of what happened in New Orleans, you have to understand that there's a method to what they got going on. The way they strategically opened up with 3 screens. Well, my mindset would tell me they thought the guys who were in were probably going to be trying to get up the field and make plays and get sacks. Well, slow them down. Throw screen passes. It was funny, man. I was talking to Corey Curtis on the sideline, and Corey was like, man, I think we're good. And I was like, I kind of want to see Will Levis throw the ball down the field. It's like, I think that's why they set up the screen game first. The next series, Will Levis throws the deep pass to Tyler Boyd across the middle. Then he hit Calvin Ridley. And I'm like, see, that's how you set up a game plan. Sure. You ain't just pointing at a paper and saying, I like this play. No. Yeah. You got to have a reason for liking that play. And that's essentially what it sounded like he said yesterday.
And that will be fun to watch how the analytics are incorporated throughout, this tenure. And Chad Brinker had mentioned it too before that they've brought in new people. It's not going to overtake everything, but it is going to make things look a little different and feel a little different. And that's what you get when you bring in an offensive-minded head coach, for sure.
Coming up next, not only is he on the play-by-play call of Sunday's game on Fox, he was also the preseason television voice of the Chicago Bears. He is Adam Amin, our very good friend, joins us coming up. What's going on? It's Will Bowling. If your air conditioning is struggling to keep up, maybe it's time for a professional to check it out. Our friends at Lee Company have you covered. One of their expert technicians will perform a 22-point inspection, as well as seasonal cleaning and maintenance to help you stay ahead of Mother Nature. And this time of year, you want to make sure that you are ready for that last heat wave here in Middle Tennessee before things maybe cool off around October. And thanks to Lee Company's visual findings platform, their professional team shows you exactly what they see. I love this and what they're able to do with that. They give you updates and information on your unit's efficiency as well. Remember this phone number, 615-567-1000. That's how you call Lee Company, or you head to their website, leecompany.com/promotions to get $20 off your air conditioning tune-up today. That's 615-567-1000. Lee Company, all you need. Ramon, Kayla, and Will, RKW on 104.5 The Zone. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Will Bowling. Pleased to be joined by a voice you heard on Hard Knocks if you're watching it this year, and a voice you will hear this Sunday when the Titans take on the Chicago Bears from Fox. He is Adam Amin. Adam, what's going on? How are you?
Good to hear you, Will. Good to hear you guys, as always, brother.
Yes, sir. Great to have you on. First of all, how much did you kind of nerd out about that? Like, I know doing preseason games in Chicago, that's already cool, but Hard Knocks, man, that's pretty awesome.
You know, I was talking to Jeff Joniak, who's the radio guy for the Bears, and he kind of summed it up. Like, he gave me a call at the end of the preseason, and we were just chatting for a couple minutes, and he's like, "Yeah, it was pretty cool that they used our voices for Hard Knocks, huh?" And I was like, "Dude, that's like HBO, and you know, I grew up watching HBO Sports and HBO Sports docs and things like that." So he said it's a keepsake we'll always have, you know, and I thought that was a pretty cool perspective to have. That was pretty awesome, man. It was the thing that, like, you get a bunch of texts about, you know, from people that you hadn't heard from in a while or something like that. Like, hey, they used your voice, and you know, you flip it on once in a while, or you flip on a highlight, and it's really cool. I'm trying not to take that for granted, man. That's a pretty cool thing.
I love it. Adam Amin, our guest, NFL on Fox, on the call this weekend. Adam, let's start from the Chicago perspective. There is a buzz around Caleb Williams in that city, I know, and we just had on Coach Dave McGinnis, Titans radio color analyst, who always tells a story about being the head coach of the Bears for 6 hours and didn't know it for 3. But talking about how there is a hype that has not ever really been in that city for a quarterback in a long, long time. Just how do you put it into words, the amount of buzz, but also pressure around this debut for Caleb Williams?
I think it's a little bit more polarizing than I realized, you know, and again, I'm from here originally. Like, I grew up here, I live here, I work for the Chicago Bulls. Like, I do the preseason games for the Bears. So I get a sense for, like, the excitement from a lot of people. And I have a lot of friends of mine that are all in, and this is it. They finally got a quarterback for the first time, maybe, you know, depending on the age of your, you know, my friends, you know, first time in their lifetime that they really feel excited about it. But there's also, like you said, I didn't think about the other end of the spectrum. And I think there's a lot of people being very cautious about this based on the track record of Chicago quarterback play over the last, probably, I would say, at least 10 years, you know, going back to when Jay Cutler, you know, in a sense, Nashville's own, when Jay was in his prime in Chicago coming out of Vanderbilt after the Denver years, I thought he had probably the most consistent stretch of play over maybe 2 or 3 seasons. And that's what's been lacking for Chicago quarterbacks for probably going back to like the mid-90s. And if you really want to take the broadest kind of picture from it, probably the last 40 years, bro, going back to McMahon and the mid-'80s and when they actually won their last Super Bowl in 85, you know, in the 85 season. This is the first time in a lot of people's lifetimes that they actually have a quarterback to be excited about, but because of the track record, because of the conditioning, they're being very cautious about how much hype they put into this. Now, I think a lot of this has to do with when is he going to make the first mistake, right? If he has 2 great games and then, you know, has a rocky third game or something, I don't think that the panic meter is going to go very high. But if out of the gate, going up against what I think is like an underrated defense, at least the front line, at least the first line of the depth chart for Tennessee, I like their defense. I like the stars, you know, the star level players on this defense. If he has a rough game out of the gate, or if the offensive line isn't blocking for him, and, you know, Jeffrey Simmons or Tavondre Sweat or Harold Landry get to the quarterback and he struggles out of the gate, where's that feeling? Where's that panic meter going to be? So I understand the hype around it. I understand the excitement around him, rightfully so. But I also know that at some point, like, because he's a rookie quarterback and every game he plays from here on out is going to be the toughest game he's played because it's an NFL defense that he's never faced before. And each week you're going to get more and more tape and more scouting on him. Every game is going to be his toughest game from here on out. He's going to struggle like every rookie quarterback, like every rookie player. So I think it's incumbent on Bears fans to be excited, lean into it, but just give some grace to a rookie QB who's going to have tough outings coming up against, high-level elite quality players on opposing defenses and consistency from defenses that he's going to see in the next month.
Adam Amin is with us this morning. He'll be on the call for the Bears-Titans this weekend. I have to ask you this, man, because there's a lot of parallels in what the Titans and Bears have going on. And I'll just start with you guys as head coach and GM, Matt Eberflus and Ryan Poles, man. Eberflus has been 3-14 in his first year and 7-10 last year. And now with so much new and everything else surrounding this team, how much grace is given for a coach with 2 losing seasons, or does it reset with Caleb Williams coming into it and all the new parts y'all have right now?
I think it's enough to buy an extra year, I think, in the life cycle of an NFL coach these days, because as we know, the Belichicks and the Tomlins and, the Harbaughs of the world are few and far between that get that type of tenure, that get double-digit years, especially when you're bringing in younger coaches, first-time coaches. Matt's a first-time head coach going back a couple seasons. And I think there was a lot of discussion towards the end of last season when the talk became, well, they're probably going to have a number 1 pick because Carolina is not particularly good. If you're going to make a coaching change, is this the right time to do it? Because you're probably going to end up drafting a quarterback. You're probably going to end up drafting what some people call a generational talent. So is this the right time to do it? So it's not as if it was a guarantee that he was going to have the job to begin with this season. I think he basically earned a year because Ryan Poles' idea was, let's have at least a little bit of continuity. You have a defensive-minded head coach. Remember, Matt was a defensive coordinator in the division, as you guys remember, in Indianapolis. So let's try to get a little bit of infrastructure in place to where he can focus on the defense. We'll get an offensive coordinator in here that we feel good about, and that's where Shane Waldron comes in after 3 years with Seattle. Did a great job with Russell Wilson for a year. We know what he did with Geno Smith 2 seasons ago when he won Comeback Player of the Year. And I figured, like many, that this was a very important season for Matt Eberflus. Now, again, is there any guarantee that if, they're flirting with the playoffs and they don't make it, that he's not going to be welcomed back? I don't think so. I do get the sense that, and maybe you watch this on Hard Knocks and maybe you got a sense for it too, but guys really have seemed to gravitate towards him. And I thought he did a much better job as a defensive play caller in the second half last year. I feel like he's gotten more comfortable, and I think Ryan Poles likes the infrastructure that's in place for not only Caleb Williams, not only the players, but I think he likes what he's done with the coaching staff so far. So I feel like he's got an opportunity, as long as they're fighting for a playoff spot, to be back again and to maybe get an extension and maybe see this through. But Poles, I give him a lot of credit because in a short amount of time, he's turned the roster around. He's kind of figured out a couple of philosophies from his Kansas City days, when he was, working under Scott Pioli and he was working as a scout for KC. I think he's figured out a couple of things and applied a couple of things from the Kansas City model to try to get a little bit of consistency into the organization that's desperately needed it at both coach and quarterback for quite some time.
Adam Amin with us this morning. He's on the call for the Titans-Bears this upcoming weekend. Adam, also with that being said, 2 teams attack each other in certain specific ways, right? And one of those spots this weekend may be a guy that's a former Titan, and that's also what's his name?
Nate Davis.
Nate Davis. Golly, I had it in my head to say. Nate Davis. What has been his issue? This preseason, you guys have somewhat tried to figure that out, as he's also still a starter, and Jeffrey Simmons, I'm sure, wants to get really acquainted with his former teammate.
Yeah, and it's been a groin issue this off season, or this preseason, I should say. Lower body injuries last year, missed a handful of games last season, and Matt Eberflus basically said in the preseason, that's a competition now because Nate Davis was a little bit more of a question mark. Now, as you guys know, a healthy Nate Davis is an important player when it comes to the quality of an offensive line. I think he raises the quality a little bit. That offensive line is, as I said earlier, probably the most important thing outside of DeAndre Swift in the running game for Chicago, because they need to block for their franchise quarterback. They need to be able to give him time as he learns how to read defenses at a quicker pace. He had some misses at times, so that offensive line play is going to be essential. And like I said, with DeAndre Swift, Nate did a good job with the rest of that line for Derrick Henry for all those years to get that guy over 6,000 yards. And I think DeAndre Swift's quality play is as essential to this team's success as Caleb Williams is. I really believe that, because this is an offensive coordinator that wants to be balanced. This is a line that has built up on the left side a little bit. They've drafted well, I think, the last couple of years, whether it's Braxton Jones on the left side. They did a nice job getting Darnell Wright on the right side last year. They beefed up the inside this season, tried to add some depth. Coleman Shelton comes over from the Rams with a good pedigree. They trade for Ryan Bates, who's a good player on the interior, can play multiple spots in case Nate Davis is hurt. But Davis not being healthy has been his biggest problem, and this is not an easy game, right? T'Vondre Sweat's going to be, excited to be in the NFL, and he was a highly touted player coming out of college. Jeffrey Simmons is a high-quality interior player who can play different spots along the line, and if that's the weak spot that they find, the Bears are going to be in some trouble trying to keep Caleb Williams upright, trying to keep him not him. Listen, is he great outside the pocket? Yes. Do you want him to have to be great outside the pocket all the time? No. And Jeffrey Simmons is a player that can disrupt things very, very quickly. So that right guard matchup against whoever lines up across from him on the interior of that line, that's going to be one of the key matchups of the game, I think.
Amin with NFL on Fox will be on the call for the Titans and Bears this Sunday. Curious as perspective over there when it comes to quarterback Will Levis, because we've clearly seen him over the last few months, doing the little things to take him to the next level. But I don't know if that's seen at a national level. What do people feel about this guy who, clearly we know eats mayonnaise at least?
Other than that, Kayla, what are we going to figure out about him, right? Can he get that completion percentage up? I think this offense is, again, sneaky underrated. I think this trio of wide receivers is as good as I've kind of looked at. I'm not saying they're like a top 5 trio right now. I know DeAndre is getting a little bit older. They're taking a flyer on Tyler Boyd, who I thought did a really nice job in Cincinnati with Brian Callahan in that offense. I really like Treylon Burks when he's healthy. When he's healthy, I think this is a quality player. And Calvin Ridley's gotten a lot of praise in the preseason too. Like, there are options out there to throw to. We know Chigo Okonkwo had a better season in year 2 than he did as a rookie. Josh Wiley's a up and coming tight end. There's quality on this offense, and it's up to Will and this offensive line too, which again beefed up. I think J.C. Latham's a great draft pick, and we were big fans of Peter Skoronski, obviously in the Chicagoland area with what he did at Northwestern as a collegiate player. So I respect that they've gone out, got Lloyd Cushenberry. They've gotten guys to help block for Will Levis to give him some time. He has to be able to be more. He has to be more accurate, right? And if he's doing the little things in the preseason to try to get him into a better space, to be a little bit more consistent throwing the football, like 58% completion rate's not going to cut it, right? That was the lowest in the NFL for qualifying quarterbacks. League average is about 65. Like, you got to be around league average. And I think with the trio of receivers and the tight ends, having a player like Tony Pollard, I know he's not Derrick Henry, but he's a quality player. A couple of years ago, led the NFL in yards per carry with Dallas as a number 2 guy. I think he's ready to take on a number 1 role. He played well against the Bears a couple of years ago, ran for 3 touchdowns against them when he was with Dallas. Like, I think the players around Will are quality players, especially the first guys on the depth chart. So it's up to him to be more consistent, and I like that he's doing all the little things. I like that he's trying to be more accurate. I like that he's trying to get the ball out a little bit quicker. I think there are some good things in his mechanics. Mark Sanchez is my partner on NFL on Fox. He's going to be very keyed in on what Will Levis is doing footwork-wise, where his mechanics are, where the arm slot is. And if he's done all the little things in the preseason to get this consistency up a little bit, I think this is going to be a better offense than people are probably expecting. I like what you guys said. These two teams are very similar. They have a good trio of receivers, new play callers, essentially new quarterbacks. I know Will obviously got, those 9 starts in last season, but essentially young quarterbacks and new running backs. They're in very similar spots with the high expectations on their offensive line. I like that Will is doing a lot of the little things. He just hasn't had the hype that a number 1 pick got, which is understandable in the broad scope of the NFL. But I'm excited to see where this offense is now with all the changes that they've undergone.
Adam, we talked a lot to some of the cornerbacks, the secondary guys yesterday in the locker room, and somebody we have not seen at all this training camp was Chidobe Awuzie. Obviously comes over from Cincinnati, and L'Jarius Sneed, but they are going to play. They're healthy. I'm just curious, with that secondary upgraded, clearly at that starting position, but there's not a ton of depth necessarily at that cornerback position, but what's the challenge just in this game with the array of weapons and different type of weapons that the Bears have?
I'm so excited to see who Sneed lines up against.
Yeah.
Right, he comes in with this great pedigree from Kansas City. He's a little bit disappointed that he got let go from there. He's got something to prove, maybe a little bit of a chip on the shoulder. I thought Awuzie, in his multiple spots, has been a solid player. I remember going back to Colorado and watching him play. I covered him when he was in college. And I just felt like this is going to be a quality, consistent NFL player. And when he's been healthy, that's been the case. If he's past this calf issue, then that's a very good sign for this defense. And like you said it, I agree. I think the first line of this defense, all the guys on the first line of the depth chart, are really good. I thought the Ernest Jones pickup was good from Los Angeles. A guy who's been a really good tackler in his career with the Rams. Arden Key can hopefully generate a little bit of a pass rush. I like the addition of Quandre Diggs. I like L'Jarius Sneed. Everybody does. He comes in, like I said, with those 2 Super Bowls. And, maybe this is the year that Roger McCreary takes an even bigger step up after being, a high-level pick a couple of seasons ago. So I think just in general, the secondary has a lot to like about it when they're healthy. Same thing with Jamal Adams. I've watched a lot of Jamal Adams in Seattle the last couple of years. And when he's healthy, he's a really solid player who can give a lot of impact. He was a great pass rusher from the safety spot a few years ago, and he was a good run stopper, or needs to be a little bit better tackling, but he can be a good run stopper. So across the board on that back end, especially to upgrade where they have, in a spot where, a lot of draft capital, right, used on the back end over the last couple of years, they haven't all hit. You've had to make some, concessions if you're Ran to know that, all right, maybe some of the picks that we saw in years past haven't panned out. Let's try to upgrade with some quality veteran play. That's what we get with Quandre Diggs and Sneed. And, I think Awuzie falls into that category now at this point, having been in the league a handful of years. It's going to be a difficult task because the versatility of the Chicago trio is really high. Like, Odunze can play anywhere. Keenan Allen can play anywhere. DJ Moore can play anewhere. Any of the 2 or 3 spots that they feel like in a specific formation, they can line up just about anywhere and mostly run most of the route tree. So matchups are really important. I think the physicality of the Bears receivers is higher than it has been maybe in the last 10 years. Darnell Mooney used to be the number 2 guy. He's a little bit undersized. Now he's in Atlanta. They've upgraded in terms of size. So I think that's probably going to be the biggest challenge for the Titans secondary. But I think the physicality of Sneed, Awuzie needs to play big. And Quandre Diggs is a big hitter. He's always been an aggressive guy. The Bears have seen a bunch of him when he was in Detroit. I really like the secondary. I'm with you. I don't know where the depth is, but I like the front line of the secondary a whole lot. And I think the physicality is going to be an important factor in what we see on Sunday.
He is Adam Amin on the television call for Titans and Bears this Sunday on Fox. Just crushes it. One of the best in the biz every Sunday and every offseason. You hear him on baseball and basketball as well. Adam's always so good to catch up with you, man. Happy football season again. Looking forward to listening on Sunday.
Hopefully we'll run into you guys at some point during the season. I really appreciate all of you. And thanks for dropping the track, too. That was really nice.
Yeah, man. Sounded good.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar, that is an Adam Amin original that you heard the music
He's
that
a
Bert
DJ
bumped us back
too.
with. It sounded good, man.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
By the way, I heard we ruffle feathers because Don Davenport got upset.
He told you.
I did get a text.
Yep.
I did get a text from Don literally like 20 minutes after Ramon shot me the text. I was like, I would do it for Don, who's one of my old friends.
Oh, yeah.
One of my old partners over at ESPN. But I was like, hey, man, we got a lot going on. I had to go first.
I may see you this weekend. We'll take a picture just to make her mad, too. Yeah. How about that?
That sounds good. I know she loves you guys, though, a lot, and I always appreciate coming out with you.
Love it.
Appreciate it.
There's Adam Amin with us here this morning on the show. Hey, if we are reaching out for the same guests that 3HL wants, then we know we're doing something right.
Did something right.
A-listers.
Had to.
Bookending your day on the zone and all day on the zone, of course. But always a good thing when we are able to be in the same ballpark as our afternoon partners. Adam is so good.
He is.
Solid.
Adam is awesome, and he is as good of a guy as there is, as good of a person as he is broadcaster. So it's just always cool running into people like that in the business.
Tell him hi for us on the
I
sideline.
will. He's super solid.
Yeah. Coming up, a couple of college football headlines for you. One coach is going to a new quarterback, and it might maybe save his job. And then we're going to play fair or foul on a fashion dispute in football happening just north of us. I'm going to go a little bit off the beaten path for this one. That's next.
What's going on, guys? Bert and Ramon here from RKW talking about Princess Hot Chicken, the original hot chicken. And we got a big game tonight, man. And you don't want to have to worry about what you're going to feed that whole crowd of people you're slugging into your house. Princess has got you covered, Ramon.
Bert, it's just you and your house. Don't act like you got a lot of people in there. Just say you want a big order because Princess can cater up to 1,000 folks.
I need 50 wings, please.
See, that's all we got to do, man. That's all we got to do, man. But here's the thing, man. Princess is the original Nashville hot chicken, man. It's been a staple here in our community for almost 100 years. Yes, don't get sold by the fluff, man. The first location was on Jefferson Street as Princess Hot Chicken Shack, and it has evolved to multiple locations all over Middle Tennessee. Whether you just want some plain chicken or some light, mild, medium, hot, you can always go up to the XXX Hot. They got whatever you need on top of the great sides there, man. Go to the original Princess Hot Chicken. Locations all over the city. You can go to Nolensville Pike. You can go to Geodis Park when it's open, or if you're coming in and out of the city. They have restaurants and gates or concourses C and D. They're everywhere. Simply go to princesshotchicken.com for more details.
Wrapping up hour number 3 this morning on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. RKW 104.5 The Zone. We'll get you a preview of the first NFL football game of the season coming up. Do we want a weird story or a serious story?
Oh, give me weird.
Choose your flavor.
Weird
first.
first.
Okay.
Weird.
So Western Kentucky football is taking on EKU, Eastern Kentucky, the Colonels and the Hilltoppers. And Western Kentucky tweeted this out yesterday and said, "We announced our football game themes and promotions for the season on July 10th, with Saturday's home opener being a whiteout. Every season," Western Kentucky says, "they wear white helmets, uniforms, and pants for their annual whiteout game, a la Penn State." However, EKU informed us on Tuesday of this week that they would be exercising their right as the visiting team to wear white uniforms, thus forcing us to wear red jerseys on Saturday per NCAA rules, the Hilltoppers say. Both teams must agree to a uniform switch. We were hoping EKU would agree to allow us to wear white on Saturday, as many other opponents have in past years. We still encourage our fans to show up, be loud, and wear white. Go Tops.
Oh, dang. So
EKU, you're not that guy. Come on, Colonels. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Fair or foul on EKU?
I think foul. I mean, I get it. They don't have to abide by that, and they can mix things up and cause chaos, and that's exactly what they did. But let the Hilltoppers, let these little guys, let that cute mascot do their thing. Like, let them wear
Little
their
guys,
white.
what are you talking about?
The little Hilltopper guy, you know.
Big Red is not a little guy.
No,
Big
he's
Red
not.
is the best
But
mascot in
he's so
football.
cute. I like to call him
He's
a
very
little
cute.
guy, you know. But no,
He's a
I
big
think
old
it's
dude.
foul. Let them do that. This is a thing that they like to do for tradition. I have nothing against WKU. I like them. The Tops.
Good people up there.
Yeah,
They are
so
good people
I'm
up
kind
there.
of mad about it.
But I'm
EKU.
going fair.
Well, because they're Colonel.
Because it's East versus West. So they're recruiting the same kid. They're in the same
That's true.
city. I mean, they're in the
They're not in
same
the same
state. No, they're not in the same
EKU's
city.
not a Bowling Green.
I know. They're not out of Bowling Green. Same state.
Same state.
And I'm looking at this situation just like, if I could one up somebody, I probably would, if I can be honest with you. Screw your tradition. See me. Beat me. And if you do beat me, you better beat me bad, okay? Oh, my gosh.
Let's play Name That Small Town in Kentucky, the game show that's sweeping the nation. What city is Eastern Kentucky University located in? No looking at the chat.
Frankfurt.
Frankfurt?
No.
That's
the capital.
Frankfurt? I don't think Frankfurt's the capital of Kentucky.
Lexington Jr.
Frankfurt is the capital of Kentucky. I stand corrected. I'm going to go run suicides out in the parking lot. I used to know, funny story, if y'all remember leap pads, you don't remember leap pads, from when I was a kid, I could name the capital of every state in America when I was 3. I can't when I'm 27, but I could when I was 3.
Short-term memory.
I'll take that demerit. Robert, what city is Eastern Kentucky University in?
I want to say it's in Richmond, but I don't know that for sure.
You should say that because that's correct.
Okay, there
Richmond,
we go.
Kentucky. Well done.
No.
Well done.
He's got the answers written
That's
on the
very well
inside
done.
of his palm.
I'm not going
Nice.
to say I
Very well
looked it
done.
up, but their acceptance rate is 64%. Their
Okay.
graduation
All
rate
right.
is 44%.
Shadows. Shadows.
Only 40%.
That's even worse than me being wrong and correcting Ramon. First time I've ever been wrong on the show. Remember that.
Does
Let the record say that.
Does every city, by the way, or state have a city named Bellevue? I swear, every state.
Sure.
Probably so. Big Bellevue families.
DJ Lagway expected to start against Samford this weekend for Florida. Any chance he could save Billy Napier's job? Yes or no?
Nope.
No, but he could lose his again.
Because what they're going to say, whatever positivity got a DJ Lagway, guess what? It's going to go to the new coach because Billy Napier has shown himself to be incompetent as far as running a full year program. Beat us, 100% last year, have saved his job, but he's done.
I'd
Anytime
run
you
for
make
the
a change
hills.
this early, he's cooked.
Yeah, I feel bad for the young man that he's got to be put in this position. And maybe he can give him some light, but they're just in such a bad spot right now. And I think all hope has been lost from the fans too. I'm curious to see how the fans are the rest of the season if we don't even know what the future is for Napier. What are we holding on for then at this point? Everybody I've heard talk to, even on 3HL yesterday, it's like there's nothing else to play for if you're Napier. So can we just get him fired now?
Buyout.
Can
That's
he just?
why.
Yeah, it's bad.
Dead man walking.
It is.
The only I don't feel bad for DJ Lagway, but I do think he is auditioning to be someone else's quarterback next year.
That's absolutely.
Because if he balls out, somebody call him. Heck, if DJ Uiagalelei can have one good season against bad competition and get another job, then I mean DJ Lagway will be, if he could even have a decent season against good competition, he'll be somebody's starter next year. Probably not Florida's, but somebody's.
So I learned why there's a little more hatred between the Eastern Kentucky and Western Kentucky. So apparently their head coach used to be the offensive line coach at Western for 8 years, and now he is the head coach since 2020 at Eastern Kentucky.
Walt Wells.
Okay.
Right?
Nashville native.
Yeah, Nashville. He went to McGavick, I'm pretty sure. Former Tennessee offensive line coach under Butch Jones, Walt Wells.
Okay.
Good guy. Really good guy. I like Walt a lot.
You speak of auditioning for another team. The Stewart
he did
kid
play
out of South
McGavick.
Carolina has been, a lot of folks have been rumoring that he's auditioning for another team next year, too.
Of course.
The edge rusher out of South Carolina.
Probably Ohio State or one of the top 5 teams in the country will probably have Dylan Stewart next year.
Yep.
Future Ole Miss Rebel, Dylan Stewart.
No, for real.
Low key.
For real.
Coming up, hour 4 of the show will begin. We'll preview a professional football game that is played tonight. Man, that felt good. That's next.
Hey, it's Kayla Anderson with FanDuel, and you've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Well, we have a little bit something different for you, and yes, football is back tonight, so you get a little more excited about this. Maybe you decide to do it now since football is actually back. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial on NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. So with the YouTube TV base plan, you're going to get a lot. You'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game, and all you're going to need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and then you can cancel if you want at any time. All you got to do is visit FanDuel.com/Kayla. That's FanDuel.com/Kayla to download America's #1 sportsbook. And must remember that you have to be 21 years and older and present in Tennessee to bet. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire in 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call Tennessee Redline at 1-800-889-9789.
What's going on? 902. Good morning from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I am Robert Walsh. Titans and Bears so close that I could smell the injury report. Bears have quite a few contributors who were limited. Wide receiver Keenan Allen, edge rusher Montez Sweat, defensive tackle Zach Pickens, and running back Roschon Johnson most notably. On the Titans side, linebacker Otis Reese and wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins were limited, while safety Jamal Adams did not practice. And kickoff is here tonight. Ravens and Chiefs. Lamar versus Mahomes. Kickoff at 7:20 on NBC. Chiefs will be without free agent acquisition and former Raven wide receiver Hollywood Brown. And for the Ravens, third-round outside linebacker Adisa Isaac has been ruled out for the game. For all your foundation repair and your waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Hour number 4 of RKW, Ramon, Kayla, and Will live on your radios, your smart devices, and your televisions. Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. That is where you watch the show for 60 more minutes on this fine Thursday morning, Christmas morning of the NFL season. We get you ready for the weekend of football, both college and NFL, with the Thursday 3 coming up in 15 minutes. That is where all of us have 3 picks against a total or a spread in football. It can be professional. It can be college. It has to be football. Can't be Canadian. That's not football.
They're already playing.
Can't be XFL. That's not football. That's football.
You know, I have all my random thoughts. You just threw all that Canadian stuff out there, too.
That's from Foster, Kayla Anderson, Robert Walsh.
Yeah. Everybody's accounted for. I was thinking yesterday, like, the Canadian Football League is currently going on. Like, they're in season. Yeah. Been in season. And I know that's their own thing, but like not a peep about the Canadian Football League.
Why would we?
That's what I'm saying.
We have Canadian football at home. It's called the NFL.
We do.
Here.
That was one of my things. I was just like, I don't even want to be like, if I was done with football and never made it, like going to Canada, I'd have probably considered it. But like, it's just a totally different world. And respect to those dudes that take that pathway too. It's just that we hadn't even mentioned an ounce of Canadian.
Why would we?
I know. Yeah. I have random thoughts sometimes.
That is
you be
a random
like,
one.
That's
I love your random thoughts, but that's
one.
about as random as it gets, Ramon.
They've got the Grey Cup, right?
I appreciate
it. Already deep in it.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Already deep in it.
That's right.
It'd be fun to play in Toronto, though. I will say that. I've always wanted to visit that city.
Ooh,
it would probably be a
cool.
fun city to
If you ask anyone, though, who's not from Toronto, who's Canadian, about Toronto, people who are not from Toronto hate Toronto and Canada.
Why?
I loved it.
It's a great city, isn't it?
It's very different from the rest of the country. Like my sister-in-law's family, like you talk to them because they're Canadian from Ottawa, not fans of Toronto.
Really?
They are not claimed by the rest of that country.
Okay. Seems to be the new kind of New York of Canada.
It sort of is.
You know?
Yeah.
Yep, it sort of is.
Oh, I thought we were getting jiggy with it.
I don't know what that was. You
Club
kick a
Bert.
freestyle.
That's all right.
Jiggy with it.
Yeah.
Hey, Bert's in control. You can do whatever you want.
I know. I'm
Whatever
fine
the
with
heck,
that
come
random
on.
music.
Titans and Bears for Sunday. A great breakdown with Adam Amin in the last hour. If you missed that, you can check out the Ramon, Kayla, and Will podcast, wherever you download podcasts. Injury report yesterday we've covered throughout the morning. Jamal Adams did not practice. DeAndre Hopkins was limited, and Otis Reese was limited. We have not seen a lot of Jamal Adams on the practice field.
No.
Is there doubt or concern in your mind that he will not be available Sunday quite yet?
Yeah, and I'll be honest with this whole situation. It has been not weird by any means, because I think when they brought him here, it was made clear that he wasn't going to be on the field right away. But I think at this point of the season, we just still haven't seen a ton of him. I think the most we actually saw from him was in joint practices when Seattle, his former team, came here. And other than that, though,
You mean just on the field, too, right? Did he
exactly
practice much though, too?
So not a lot. No,
Not a lot. Yeah, I didn't think so.
But he was out there for
out
stretch.
there. You're right. He was out there.
Yesterday,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That's why I was wondering. I was like, yeah, he was out there.
And I believe a couple people did talk to him in the locker room. I did not. I can venture that way today and get a feel on things. But it is a little bit interesting. I don't really think it means anything. I think that every veteran player has a way to, measure the season and how their body is. And it seems like Callahan and company are good with some of those veterans doing it the way they need to do it. So maybe he's just not one of those practice guys. And we'll see throughout the season if that works when it comes to being on the field. But I think we all know, too, he's going to be incorporated more in the package situations and not going to be just out there for all 3 downs.
Yep.
So
I would agree. Interested to see who would be in his spot if he is unable to go in that big nickel 3rd down look, whether that's Mike Brown, whether that's James Williams, potentially. I would doubt that, but you've got options there certainly. Maybe it's just Jarvis Brownlee. And again, it's kind of that nickel safety, big nickel look where you've got a guy either blitzing or underneath in coverage on 3rd down specifically. So we'll see. Yeah. Interesting. I think Titans are in a good injury place, though, moving forward into week 1. And everybody on the practice field for the Bears yesterday, they had a number of limited participants. But again, if you're limited Wednesday, I would say you are likely playing. I never want to say something with absolute certainty because we don't know 100%. Right. But I think it is very good news that certainty because we don't know 100%. Right. But
for sure. By the way, Jamal Adams' backup is Julius Wood, ECU.
Yes, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's there for him.
Julius Wood or Mike Brown will be the other two safeties.
Right. Those are the new additions.
Listen to Mike Keefdom last night, and there was something about this week. Last night, like there will be healthy scratches. This weekend. So where last year it might have been because of injuries and whatnot. Like
that's right.
The further we can get away from that long injury report, the better it is. And of course, there's a 100% injury rate in the NFL, so it's going to be stacked at some point in the year. It's just a matter of when.
That's right.
Or hopefully you don't.
No, you don't want that. I was going to add in really quick, and I said it earlier on in the show, but when asking Will Levis about DeAndre Hopkins and if missing any of training camp, messes up their chemistry because they clearly had that from the get-go. And last year, he said, not at all. That this is just somebody who I was able to connect early with in terms of on the field, and he doesn't feel like that's going to be an issue when D-Hop does return, which looks like it could be Sunday. So he's excited.
Did we actually think D-Hop wasn't going to be here week 1?
I thought you never know when something first happens, but now after seeing him on the report yesterday practicing, I would be very surprised if he doesn't play.
Yeah.
If he's practicing even limited at this point, put him on for Sunday.
I've seen folks have knee scopes in preseason and still make week 1. And here's the other thing too. Rhett Bryan came in here and gave us the weather report for this weekend. The weather is made for guys. It got
windy,
little nicks and bruises, a little cool breeze going through.
It gonna wind.
Yeah,
back to you.
It's gonna wind.
It gonna rain. No, it's not gonna rain, but it's gonna wind. Let's go to Gerardo. Calling in from Amarillo. That sounds like a country song. Gerardo and Amarillo. What's up, Gerardo?
Good morning, y'all. Happy New Year.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Merry Christmas.
Man, surviving, brother. Surviving.
More like thriving.
Yeah, yes, sir. Hey, I'm actually calling to give you some flowers, Mom.
What happened?
Man, Will, you didn't really think we were going to let that little slip-up slide by, did you?
I know.
Man,
I deserve it.
You
Let me hear
talk about personifying the Homer Simpson meme backing up into the bushes like
That's
that,
me.
my boy. Hey, I'm in positive vibes, man. It's all love, baby. I'm excited. That was the cherry on top for the first day of the year, baby. So, hey, tighten up. Let's go, baby. Y'all have a good one.
Gerardo called in to be petty.
I didn't even. I missed that
on
whole
Capitals of the capital of
the
Kentucky.
Capitals. Okay.
I doubted you that it was Frankfurt. I don't know why I thought it was Franklin.
Frankfurt. No.
I was way off on that one.
Look at Moan, big honor student over
no,
here.
I actually
do another
was.
state?
Okay, you want me to give you my resume? Beta Club kid. Okay, all right. Student class president, senior class president. All right. I said it's like. Football is what I did, okay? Education is what I do.
What got you paid?
I'm talking about.
Capital of Utah.
Capital of Utah?
Go.
Salt Lake
Me?
City.
Kayla got it. You
Salt
got to
Lake
be
City.
quicker than that.
See, sometimes you got people in the class that let you cheat off their test. Kayla, give me a little bit.
Well, I didn't let you cheat. I just gave the point to Kayla. Capital of Arizona.
Capital of Arizona? Phoenix.
Anyone else?
Tucson.
It's Phoenix.
Yeah. Oh. I was going to say, it's not.
That's it. That's all y'all get today, man.
Look
catch
at the
me
brain
tomorrow,
on
man.
Moan.
Hey, y'all catch me
Weekdays from
tomorrow,
6 to
Capital
10.
of Seattle.
Not
Sorry,
even no
Washington.
hesitation.
Capital of Seattle. That's right.
Capital of Washington.
What is the
Olympia.
capital of Seattle?
Olympia is the capital of Washington.
That's it. I'm done, man. That's cool. I proved what I had
Well,
to, man.
Ramon
I'm in my third
Foster
career already.
is Don't Look Now. Tied for first in the Thursday 3.
Look at that.
In fact, all of you are tied for first. The theme of today's show is I'm an idiot. I'm going to make up ground, though, when we come back. Betting picks for the football weekend next. What's going on? It's Will Bowling. I want to tell you about Underdog Fantasy. Guys, I am so excited to be working with Underdog Fantasy this season. It is the greatest time of year, again, because kickoff is here and football is officially back. Over 1 million fans across 33 states got in the game last year by competing on Underdog. You can win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on your favorite player's stats. It is literally that easy, whether it's touchdowns, passing yards, and more. Here's what I got cooked up for tonight, the season beginning. You can get a promo on Travis Kelce higher than a half a yard. Give me that all day long. Derrick Henry over a half of a rushing or receiving touchdown. And then I'm going Xavier Worthy over 46 and a half receiving yards. That's higher than 46 and a half receiving yards. It is literally that easy, guys. It's why I love Underdog Fantasy. It is straightforward, and signing up is even easier. Just head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com. Pick higher or lower. And when you get there, sign up with promo code WILL, W-I-L-L. Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 of bonus cash when you deposit. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code WILL, W-I-L-L, to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. Must be 18 or older and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. Oh, it's the most profitable segment of the week here on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. The football season is back, 1 week down and a whole fall to go. It is the Thursday 3. With Ramon Foster and Kayla Anderson, I'm Will Bowling. Robert Walsh is our producer. Everyone not named Will is 2-1. I was 1-2 last week. I was an idiot and I was wrong, as Buck Rising would say, whereas Jackson Williams would press the button for Buck Rising to say on the Buck Rising Show, which, of course, is coming up next. What is y'all's breakdown today of NFL bets versus college bets as well?
NFL bets to college bets, I got 2-1. 2 college and 1 NFL.
That's what I did as well.
Same.
Yeah.
That's what I did as well.
2-1. That's where I'm at today.
Okay.
Who goes first? The person that was last?
Let's, if you want me to, I can go
Nice,
first.
nice face there.
Ain't no problem.
Apparently that is Lucas, by the way, who says the I was an idiot and I was wrong thing. How did I get that mixed up?
Okay, that's right.
Again, I was an idiot and I was wrong.
Never heard Lucas be wrong about anything.
No, that's true.
he's
That's
right
why
about
I couldn't
everything
think
on
of that.
Weird.
Interesting. If you want the last to be first, if we're going to go biblical, I can go first.
That's fine.
Oh my!
Let's do it because there's only 3 of us that won last week.
Well,
so.
let's get it started. I did win. I just only won one game.
Well, maybe this was your top heavy bet, baby.
My
Like
first
Dolly
bet
Parton.
is the University of Tennessee at Knoxville traveling to Charlotte to take on the NC State Wolfpack. Guys, I have not been shy about this being a Tennessee win, but I also think that this NC State defense is not ready with this many new pieces to stop an offense like Tennessee's. And I think ultimately James Pierce and his Tennessee's front seven ability to get after Grayson McCall, the NC State quarterback who was pressured last week by Western Carolina, an institution that Ramon did not even know existed before he watched them play. I think Tennessee covers in this game. I also agree with Ron Slay that I would even take this number up to 2 touchdowns. I said leaving the game on Saturday in Knoxville, I'll take Tennessee double digits in this game. I just don't think that NC State can slow down and disrupt Nico Iamaleava's comfort in the pocket. That number is still 7.5, and I am still shocked that it is as low as it is. Give me Tennessee minus 7.5 in Charlotte, a home game for the Vols against NC State.
I'll take that bet. I thought about jumping in on that one too, but I'm
Don't
not.
go broke making a profit. It's sitting right there for us. I'm going to take it.
Who's next, Kayla? You rolling? I'll go.
Go ahead.
I go NFL first. My last 2 college gets a super emotional, man. I got Houston Colts. Houston Texans and the Indianapolis Colts. Big time game, conference game. Week 1 matchups, man, as far as divisions go, interdivision games go, always kind of spicy. I'm actually going to take Houston. -3 on this one, man. They've
minus
been high.
2.5 is the number right
Minus
now.
2.5.
I'll give you a half point there.
All right, then. I'm taking Houston this weekend, man. Just the quarterback play is there and already established. And there's so much unknowns about what Anthony Richardson is. I like what he can be as a player, but he going to have to show me. Like, I'm from Missouri, man, to show me state. I need to see it first. Houston showed me a lot. So I got Houston minus 2.5, you say.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, Caleb, your first pick?
So I'm going to start with my college pick, and I'll put the NFL one in the middle there. So I really didn't know what to think about Georgia Tech before the season. And Will has gone on record saying he really kind of likes what they're putting together there. Mm-hmm. And it is different, right? This isn't the style that everybody is used to. But Georgia Tech is finding ways to get it done. And I like the culture that's being built over there in, what is it, Atlanta?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, straight
downtown.
up Atlanta, downtown.
Right,
and what is that, Varsity hamburgers, by the way?
The Varsity.
God, it's so good.
The frosted orange is the greatest thing. You get 2 dogs walking, get a couple chili dogs.
Ooh.
The combo with a chili dog, a chili burger, fries, and a frosted orange.
Right?
Onion rings if you really know ball. Anyway, don't get me started.
And those linemen are got to be eating good because they're bringing the physicality for sure, you guys. And I know they travel to Syracuse this weekend, and I know Keith Bullock would not be happy with what I'm going to do here. But I feel like the momentum is real. They're 2-0 to start the season. I will take Georgia Tech. This could be different by a half a point, Will, but minus 2.5 the Cuse.
2.5 is correct.
Okay.
According to current odds. Dangerous taking points against a home dog.
Yeah, it is a little, but I like to live on the edge like I have all morning.
All right, then.
You know who the quarterback of Syracuse is?
Mm-hmm.
Cal McCord, Ohio State transfer.
And
where
he's
he
pretty
popped
good.
up.
And he's gonna obviously go downfield a lot. But I'm just gonna roll with him.
I think it's a good pick. If I was betting that one, I would take the under.
You take the under.
60.5 is a big number for a Georgia Tech offense that had 5,000 minutes, 525,600 minutes of time of possession against FSU. But no, I think it's a good pick. I like it. Robert Walsh has the floor.
I hate NFL Week 1 games, and I have 3 of those to play today. I love dogs, though, Week 1. Because we come into it expecting a lot of teams to be exactly what they were last year when they are not. A lot of teams have changed. A lot of teams have additions and subtractions. So I'll start with the team that I think has had the most subtractions, the Bills. They take on the Cardinals at home. I like the Cardinals here. +6 is a lot of points. The Bills have a ton of changes on their offense, a lot of moving pieces, and the Cardinals are one of those overlooked teams. What was that weird goofball's name?
Jonathan Gannon.
There you go, Gannon. So Gannon, defensive coach, but he has a wealth of riches. In his offense's treasure trove, you got Trey McBride. You just drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. A lot of guys on that offense that were not keeping up with the snuff last year. I like the Cardinals in this. I have them at +6. I don't know what your book says, but I'll probably take them at any number as long as it's not lower than that.
I will give you a half point, +6.5.
Love that. They probably should. And I thought this number would be bigger. The Cardinals are probably one of the more poo-pooed on teams this offseason. I thought that they would have a much larger Week 1 number, but I will take 6.5.
Bills are one of the most fascinating teams I want to watch on Sunday because the impact of Stephon Diggs being in Houston, Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox, the weapons for Josh Allen. There's a lot of pressure on Josh Allen to raise the level of those wide receivers. Every quarterback that's in that top 5 goes through this. Patrick Mahomes won a Super Bowl with less than receivers last year. I'm very curious to see what Buffalo looks like. It's a good pick.
Yeah.
All right, so he goes +6.5 Cardinals at Bills. Let's go with my NFL pick because it's one you've already heard in this Thursday 3. I love the Texans -2.5 at the Indianapolis Colts. I hate going against a home underdog. However, the Houston Texans have covered 3 of their last 4 spreads in matchups with the Indianapolis Colts. I think there is a lot of hype around this Houston team. I think they live up to it in Week 1. I think Houston wins this game by a touchdown. It is risky with the energy that'll be in Lucas Oil Stadium. I just think the Colts are the 4th best team in the AFC South.
Yep.
Point blank. Give me Houston.
Like it. It's a good bet.
Ramon Foster, pick number 2, please.
Pick number 2 for her. This is going to come off crazy, all right? But this is what football
That's
season
how he
is
starts
all about. USF Bama. I'm taking the 30.5 points, USF. They played them well last year, right? They played South Florida well last year. And Alex Golesh, being an offensive-minded guy that he is, I don't think they're just going to lay down for Alabama.
This has moved down a full point because the money is on the USF side. It is now 29.5.
Well,
are you still willing to take it?
I'm still willing to take it. I just can't see them getting just floored like that, who, by the way, just got a 4-star commit, too, on their team. So if I trust the offense that gave Alabama fits years before, I got to trust what they did last year. And I know it's a separator of 2 different seasons. We just talked about it. But I can't see USF going to Alabama getting smoked by more than 29.5 points.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's risky. I don't hate the pick. In my picks, I do against the spread group. I went with USF as well.
You did too?
I'm riding with you. Yeah, I think it's a good bet.
Okay.
I think it's a good pick. All right, Caleb?
I'll go NFL for this one. I'm going to put them in, sandwich them in here. And for this game, some might call me a traitor a little bit.
Do it.
But I'm going with my gut. When I go with my gut, I got to just flow. And that sounded awful because that could mean a toilet reference. That could be a toilet reference right there.
Might as well.
But you know what? Can't keep it in. So the LA Chargers are at home this weekend. Jim Harbaugh, now in charge over there, and they are taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. Here's the thing. I really like Gardner Minshew. He has been a guy I've rooted for ever since he was a Coug.
Brought you a lot of good moments.
Got me a lot of good moments. Brought a lot of teams good moments when he had to step up as that starter. But for me, I still need to be convinced that he can do it for a whole NFL season. And I just don't know if I believe yet in what the Raiders have put together. Whereas I look at the LA Chargers, and while I can't stand Jim Harbaugh in so many ways, I do like him as a head coach of an NFL team and going back to that. And I think he's going to be really good for Justin Herbert. And Justin Herbert just has not been able to take the next step. He's a good quarterback. We all know that. But I think that it's going to be taken to another level now with Harbaugh. And I just think in this first game especially, we see the Chargers. So I'm going to go -3 over the visiting Raiders and the Fighting Minshews.
I think that's an interesting one, too, because the Raiders will be the home team.
Oh, yeah. And I was going to mention that, too, because the Chargers fans, I mean, what are they, right?
What Chargers fans are you talking about? Exactly.
And the Raiders will beat any of those fans up anyway if they're in the stadium. So good luck to the fans.
I like the pick, though. I think it's a good pick. It's a good bet. I think the Chargers are going to be pretty decent if they can have somebody catch the ball. So, Quentin Johnston's not going to do it.
I know.
All right, Robert Walsh, pick 2, please.
The second and third dogs I got for you today, and one of the most poo-pooed team in the offseason. I like the Panthers against the Saints this weekend, and here's why. In Charlotte, there is an optimistic buzz that there has not been in a long time, similar to Nashville. They love Dave Canales. They love the way that he runs this team, the additions he's made, the money they spent. Panthers fans are pretty optimistic, and these Saints games are either blowouts or they are extremely close. I think that Bryce Young is going to look, and it might not be week 1, I think he's going to look a lot more prepared for the moment this year than he was last year. I have them at +4. Love the additions. Love the Panthers. I'm taking them.
Interesting.
Okay. I like that.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. 3.5.
Like it.
You get -104 odds for Panthers +3.5. You get -118 on Saints. Honestly, you could double dip on that one.
3.5 now.
3.5.
Nobody likes the Panthers,
and it's still going to keep moving based on where the
dumb,
odds are.
Man. Nobody would bet.
I know.
Whatever, man.
People take their hatred on David Tepper out on the team.
Right.
It's interesting.
This is dumb. I thought 4 points was low, and I'm still taking it. And this is so stupid.
This is so dumb.
Okay.
You are so dumb.
All right, I'm going to go to Ann Arbor, Michigan for my final pick of the week. I am not touching with a 100-foot pole the point spread on Texas and Michigan. My gut tells me that Texas wins this game by 2 to 3 touchdowns. I do not trust my gut in this circumstance because I do think Michigan's defense is too good to get dog-walked at home. And I also think that a team that has won 20 games in a row at home should be given a little bit more respect. So I'm going to give them that respect. This is a Michigan defense, guys, that has a lot of talent back from last season. Their offense is going over an entirely new, just overhaul. Everything is new. I think this is maybe the best defensive line in college football, what Michigan has. Team that struggled against Fresno State. Their offense was not good. Davis Warren at quarterback. I think Alex Orji is the guy long-term, but for now they've got to just work through Davis Warren. I wonder even if Sharon Moore has had the plan of let's slow play Davis Warren out there. That way we can hit Texas with Alex Orji. I don't know that. That is pure speculation. That being said, I think Michigan's defense coupled with their ineptitude at quarterback, that's a $10 word for you, means the under is the play in this game. Under 42.5. That's an NFL total. It's a low total. A commenter on YouTube says it's going to be raining as well. I think this is a quick game. I think this is a dirty, grimy game. I like Texas by 10 to 14, but my bet in this one is under 42.5 on Wolverines and Longhorns. So that is my Thursday thing.
Okay. Over 42.5?
Under 42.5.
Oh, under, excuse me. Yeah.
Quickly on my last one, it's a college game, man. And I know it was glorified scrimmage weekend last weekend, okay? As this team I picked beat up Arkansas Pine Bluff 70-0.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is a tricky one.
Yep.
I got Arkansas versus Oklahoma State.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Ollie Gordon.
Yeah.
I trust,
Yep.
I'm going to be honest, I know he's got some scumbag things about him, but I trust Bobby Petrino's offense. On top of that, man, Taylor Green, sleeper.
He looks like a dude.
He gonna mess around and be in that Heisman conversation,
like
work his way into a late first or something like that. Here's the thing about him. Big, tall, rangy kid, can slang it. 16 for 23 last weekend, 2 touchdowns, also had 88 yards on the ground. Spread the ball around to everybody, man. I'm telling you, Bobby Petrino offense is what the Arkansas's head coach, Sam Pittman needed. Get out of the way, Sam Pittman. Let him cook. I got Arkansas. The spread on this one, man, is
7.5.
7.5.
Yeah, I'm with you on this bet.
No dice.
I know where you're
Absolutely
going.
no dice.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't trust that, take the over too.
Arkansas plus 7.5. Okay.
Yeah, I like that bet.
I would be on the other side of this one.
You
Really?
would? Okay.
I would.
I ain't got no problem with that.
I would. I
Would you
think
take the
Arkansas
over or
Pine
under?
Bluff. I think Arkansas Pine Bluff is just that bad. I like the over.
Okay, yeah.
62.5 is a big number, but I need to see it again from Bobby Petrino's offense in this game to really feel good about the way he's turning them around. I love Taylor Green, though. That dude, it looks like an action figure. Just need to see him do it again. So we'll see.
And that's probably, you might say this on what my next bet is then, if you need to see the offense again, because it's something that we haven't seen in years at Iowa. I'm kind of over-exaggerating, but not really. So last weekend, Iowa scored 40 points. I know it was against an Illinois State, but they don't really ever score points in general. So, maybe you'd think I'd be going with the over here. I'm not going to go quite yet risky on the over with this game against the other Corn team in Iowa State. Yes, they're technically the Cyclones, but they are in the Corn State. So I do like that the Cyclones have a lot of their returning offensive production. I think it's actually more than any FBS team in the nation right now. But it is at Iowa, and I think maybe with the new offensive coordinator, Tim Lester, being there, you're seeing some different approaches to offense. Maybe that's actually now incorporated in their game plan moving forward, because I think we all know what they can play, defense. So I am going to feel comfortable, I think, though, enough to go with Iowa in this one, -3 over the Cyclones.
Okay. 2.5 is the number for Iowa. You've gone with 3 favorites for a second straight week.
I like them favorites.
Okay.
All right. Well, Robert Walsh is going with a third underdog once again. And is back there in the control room.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Okay.
You just can't see me. They're doing a little work back here.
I can see you, Bert.
Kayla sees me. You guys don't even have to know. Usually I'll hedge my heart and I'll bet the other side, but I can't bring myself to do it. If we don't win tonight, I ain't coming to work tomorrow, Paul. Go ahead and sign somebody else up. Bring Reed, bring Jackson, bring Joseph, bring all 3 of them, the 3 wise men, 3 producers. Put somebody else in here, because if they don't get it done tonight, I am sleeping in the bathtub. I'm taking Ravens. I got them at +3.
Yeah,
I don't
that's what you got.
I can't do this much longer.
Are you okay?
I can't keep this up, guys. I can't keep living like this. I'm scared to have kids play sports, because what if they suck? What if they're not as good as Winston is at catching mice in the backyard, and I don't get to have that feeling again? I can't keep getting disappointed. I can't keep getting stopped at the goal line. We got to figure this out. They're going to figure it out today. I got the Ravens +3.
Buddy, Legarius Sneed can't hurt you anymore.
Yeah. He's actually on your side now, Bert. He don't want to hear that. He don't want to hear that. Hey,
Ravens +3.
I'm not here to mock you at all, Bert.
No.
I empathize with you, although we throw that bird on in some hot grease is all I'm saying. Fry him
So
up.
he said he will not be here tomorrow if they lose.
Yeah, is that if they lose or if they don't cover?
Right.
Important clarification.
I don't give a damn if they cover. I do not care. That's cherry. That's
Doesn't
the
give a
cherry
damn
on
about
top.
the whole state of Kansas City. He's from Baltimore.
Bert, prayers up for you, my man. I won't text you or nothing tonight. I promise you I won't.
If they win, Moan brings a seafood platter.
No, absolutely not.
You're always signing up for Ramon to cook something.
I'm bringing Winston to catch us some alley rats back here, okay?
Hey, we do need to make a Jimmy seafood bet. I bet they'd make a bet.
Should I say, hey, old friend?
Yeah, holler at him.
What up, big head?
Hey, big head.
He got a big head.
Whoa.
Got some good crabs, too.
Hey, now.
How confident are y'all tonight?
Are you adding them?
I do. If I was picking a spread, if I was picking a side in this one, I would go Baltimore. I mean, Chiefs lost to the Lions last year on banner night.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Baltimore's better than Detroit.
It happens.
Probably.
100%. The trend is usually to go away from the Super Bowl winner.
That's right.
Yeah, it is.
That's right. Interesting. I think Xavier Worthy over 46.5, though, is the bet tonight. I think without Hollywood Brown in the lineup for Kansas City, I am just very high on Xavier Worthy in that offense. I think they are going to make him into the next speedy little Kansas City wide receiver who we just hate. Maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see.
How are we going to feel with Derrick Henry coming out tonight?
That's the other
Not going to cheer for him, that's for sure.
It's going to be fun.
Lifelong Titans fan. I ain't cheering for anybody wearing purple and black. Ain't no way. And you should too. Do whatever you want. I'm not going to tell you how to fan, but it's going to feel weird.
Yeah.
It's going to feel very weird. Wish him all the best. Hope he stays healthy. Hope he loses every game.
There we go.
Anyway, love you, Bert. Coming up, we'll wrap up the show. Headlines on the way out as we get you on your way. Football's back. 104.5 The Zone.
Hey, it's Kayla Anderson for my friends at We Grow Hair. And We Grow Hair has helped me out, contacted them almost a few months ago now and said, hey, look, I'm losing a little bit of my hair in my temples. I could see it on video, driving me nuts. And I said, can you help me with anything? Because I don't feel like I need the full treatment there. But they helped me out, put me on a plan. And I realized, too, that a lot of people lose up to 50% of their hair before they even notice it. So everybody that is thinking that may want to get on this early and be proactive. We Grow Hair's PRP plate-rich plasma treatments are awesome. You can get those done once a month, and then add to that the FDA-approved laser therapy, which is simple and it's really quick too. You can fit it in any week. It is going to restore my hair, and in fact already has. I'm definitely noticing a difference up front. They also have their trademarked hair procedure. It's their transplant procedure. It gives you 3 times more hair in just one procedure. You don't have to really do much more than that if you're looking for long-term relief, and you can't buy this cutting-edge technology online. They have been doing it for almost 30 years. We Grow Hair has been Nashville's hair restoration premier medical clinic. And you don't have to wait. You can contact them at wegrowhair.com today. You can schedule a free evaluation. Like I said, they'll set you up on the right plan for you. Call them at 615-376-6010. That's 615-376-6010. Or you can simply go online to wegrowhair.com.
Wrapping up the show on the first day of NFL football. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Will Bowling, Robert Walsh. Who you got tonight? Chiefs or Ravens? Chiefs favored by 3. We know Bert is going +3, and for the sake of this radio program, I really hope they win because I would like for Bert to be at work tomorrow.
By the way, his people, man, are super petty.
Oh, yeah. Jimmy's Seafood has already tweeted back at Ramon.
They're super
They're
quick.
very active.
They love
very
the
quick
bets.
with it.
They love the bets.
I love
you see the pictures that they posted?
They retweeted Ramon with a picture of Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry in a Ravens jersey.
Yeah.
What did you tweet at them?
I said, hey, old friend, ... How you guys feeling? How you guys feeling tonight? Our resident Ravens fan, Robbie Walsh, said, this is the year with a side eye. And they said, feeling like kings, champ. We'll be catching up down the road.
With a crown emoji.
Wow.
And it's Derrick Henry in front of the picture with Lamar in the back of it.
Okay, I just saw it. I just retweeted it.
Rivalries aside and Titans fans not liking the Ravens, if you ever find yourself in Baltimore, exceptional seafood. I have to go every time I go, whether it's the seafood tower, the crab cakes. You can go get a whole pound lump crab cake, and it is exceptional.
I love a crab cake.
It's awesome.
Joe on YouTube says, no, Will, in no way should you hope for a Ravens win. If we have to sacrifice Bert, it just has to happen. Bert, your thoughts?
Yeah, but if I got on here saying I hope the Titans lose Sunday, y'all be mad as hell.
These are all true things.
I don't do that to y'all. Don't do that to me.
The listeners would take control of you there, Bert.
Well, come on then. I'll be the marionette. Y'all pull the strings wherever y'all want to go.
Okay.
Man, you opened up the show this morning on fire, man. I thought your drop you had was magnificent.
I was
man,
fired
with the
up, man. I had to ride in listening to my Ravens Cry song, listen to a little Cranberry Zombie.
Y'all got a song?
No, it's just mine. It's just mine. I have flashbacks, and it's a good thing. It's a good cry. It's just you're just excited. You know what I mean?
I feel like going into the weekend, we should start using that drop from Denzel. Okay, if you ever doubt your team, I don't know if you got it queued up, Bert, but that was magnifico.
I don't, but I'll pull it for the end.
That was magnifico. Like I thought Rhett had me going. It's been 2 days in a row where 2 people in the studio have got me going, thinking I can still play football again. Okay.
And get on ESPN.com this morning. They have some predictions for the season. I have some good news and some bad news for the Titans. Let's start with the bad. Dan Graziano was asked which big-name quarterback returning from an injury is primed for the best year. He says Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, of course.
Saying there's nothing but upside here. Yeah, there's also only 16 starts since high school here.
Right. Doesn't mean he's not going to get hurt tonight, or Sunday.
I am not a believer. If I was picking injured quarterback who has a big season, it is Kirk Cousins in Atlanta. And one of the easiest schedules in the NFL this year. And then there's Jeremy Fowler asked, who's your pick for an under-the-radar team that will make the playoffs? Jeremy Fowler says the Tennessee Titans.
No wonder why he's our guy.
Said the roster was bad last year, but has improved in a hurry. The depth chart has far fewer question marks than before. Offensive line was an issue. Titans have addressed it. I like that. Dan Graziano even replies back and says, I like that one. On the Tennessee Titans as well. I'm going to put you guys on the spot. Last 60 seconds of the show. We want to do Super Bowl pick?
I ain't got no problem with that.
Who's winning the Super Bowl in 2024? Well, really, February of 2025.
Oh, gosh.
This year, Kansas City, Detroit.
Who you got?
Detroit finally wins it.
Yeah, I'm going Detroit.
Wow. 2 Detroit Lions Super Bowl picks
for
this
the
morning.
Kansas City
no
Chiefs.
three-peat for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I also agree that the Chiefs do not three-peat. Give me out of the NFC the San Francisco 49ers against the Cincinnati Bengals.
Wow.
Cincinnati over San Fran.
Really?
I'm going with the one quarterback who can consistently beat Patrick Mahomes in any city.
Huh.
And he's healthy again, and we are not talking enough about Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow and the Bengals get their first title.
Okay. It looks like Jamar Chase is back. So
how sick I would
Yes,
be.
he is. Give me Bengals over 49ers. 49ers get it to the doorstep and lose again.
Dang.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not,
That's
and
bold.
I don't like the Niners as much as people do this year.
I think Kingsley Suamatia is going to be a work in progress for the Chiefs at left tackle. Give me the Ravens tonight. Unfortunately, I think Ravens get the win tonight. There you go.
There it is.
Primetime unders are very back, by the way. That's all I am ever on. on games like this. Unders in prime time. We're back at it tomorrow, a Football Friday. Keys to Titans and Bears. We'll have Brent Hubbs. We'll have Mike Keith again. The weekly visits with the VOT. Back at 8:20 tomorrow. Big show for the people, and hopefully Bert will be here.
Yes, and right. But if he's not, your Twitter fingers in your mic is always hiding a little word for you, too, for tonight.
We will be perfect in every aspect of the game. You drop a pass, you run a mile. You miss a blocking assignment, you run a mile. You fumble the football, and I will break my foot off in your John Brown hind parts. And then you will run a mile.
Well, if you're not like us this morning, okay, and you